I got.
All right, is it the kind with the squirter top or the one with the plunger?
I got both.
Both.
Yeah.
Right. And what have you done with them?
This one I snort it, and this one I apply topically.
Wonderful. That one you can also use for eyes, ears, nose, belly button, whatever.
And then I also got one of these things. I got one of these handheld nebulizers with the mask.
Yeah, cool. Mine's arriving tomorrow.
Sweet.
I had one for 2 years. I used it so much it burned out. So
wow.
I said I got to have them. And now people are nebulizing Masterpiece, the zeolite plasma product.
Oh, wow.
And that's doing a wonderful thing. Did I ever tell you about that?
Yeah, you have.
Yeah. People are finding it's wonderful to live in a body without competing with chemicals and toxins.
I can attest to that for sure.
Yeah, it's like a whole new world, considering all we had to get through. What's behind you? Is that a screen?
Yeah, I'm just listening to some frequencies right now.
Oh, sweet. What is it? 400 megahertz? What is this?
It's just called the Samadhi mix.
Body mix. Okay. Well, some people are listening to music for that reason. Some people have dialed into what's called the Quantum Upgrade app website, and people are getting quantum upgrades from a distance from these guys that are projecting it across the planet. So I just got one of those. I'm experimenting with it.
I'll have to check that out.
Remind me, I'll send you the link. What they do is they give you a 7-day free trial subscription. And then what a lot of people are doing is at the end of the 6th day, before the 7th day comes around, they cancel their subscription, right? Get off the system and then get a new subscription for another 7 days, because these guys haven't figured that out. Otherwise, you're paying 30 to hundreds of dollars to get the programs.
Interesting.
All right, that's off the record. So we studied about protocols.
Yes.
And which ones seemed interesting to you? Which ones are you practicing?
Yeah, so I got the plunger for the nose, got the nebulizer, got the topical spray, and the only one that I haven't experimented with yet, I believe, is the foot soak. I still need to get a bucket or something for that.
Yeah. This is a collapsible bucket.
Where do you get those?
Ever heard of an app or a website called Temu?
No.
All right. Remember or write down TEMU.
Yeah, all right.
TEMU.com. And they're based out, I don't know where. Things are shipped from California, things are shipped from China, whatever. And they're the lowest price. They beat Amazon, they beat eBay. I was getting these things for like $2 a bottle, whatever it is. And so they have it there.
Okay, sweet. I'll have to order one of those, yeah.
Right? And you take it wherever you go. And you can do a foot soak wherever you go. Okay, way cool. And you can even do hands if you're not already doing hand. Are you doing hand soaks as well?
I haven't tried those, no. But I wash my hands with it.
Well, that's a good start. I'm talking about, this is a form of saturation dosing. What do you do with your hands for work?
I move furniture, and I also ride BMX. So I'll show you my calluses.
So you're doing this a lot. Yeah, there definitely would be benefited.
Yeah. So
there you go. These are hands of a man who's done massage and reflexology for 42 years.
Baby soft.
Right? And so if you do a lot of soaking, you never have blown wrist, carpal tunnel, any kind of arm problems or wrist problems, which is lovely because you need your hands. Those are your tools.
Mm-hmm.
So the other thing which you didn't mention.
Oh, yes, of course. But I use a syringe.
Syringe is fine, but syringe will not put a cord inside you. Syringe is great for implants if you just want to leave it all day or right before bedtime. You know the difference, right?
Yeah.
These are going to address what's happening in the sigmoid in the lower part of the large intestines. So it opens up and things that are in the small intestines pass through. This is great to keep in the shower and bathroom. So if you want to do a full out body spray, or your hair or the part of your back which you can't reach, see how much I've used?
Yeah.
These come in handy. You can get these anywhere. Let's see what else.
Oh yes, neti pot. Yeah, I've been using those too.
Neti pot, you know the difference between this and nose drinking, nose sniffing?
Well, neti pot it just like goes up and it comes right back out, whereas nose drinking you're actually sipping it down, swallowing it.
Exactly. There's some people who come into this work and this practice, they're really proud of themselves because they got a neti pot and they're putting urine in the neti pot, and, you know, putting the nose. I'm going, yeah, but it's only going in and out of a nostril to a nostril.
Yeah.
Right? And the part that most people are missing out is their brain functions, their upper sinuses, all this stuff back here. So this is a good start for some people. And then another thing which people do, Hunter, let me pull out my bag of tricks here. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, this will work. These you want to keep on handy. Now, I got to the point, it became so much of my lifestyle that I have duplicated this, either keeping things in the bathroom or keeping things in the backpack or keeping things in the car, like the glove box. Because you never know when you might cut yourself, scratch yourself, get bit, boom, dip, boom, you're done. Okay. The other thing is Q-tips. What some people are doing is they're swabbing the inside of their nose with urine, you know, in case there's any bacteria inside the nose. And the other thing you can do is just put your finger in and use your finger as a swab. So there's all kinds of things you can do with all of these things, and all it requires is imagination, which you seem to have plenty of. Not a problema. So these are basics. What else did I miss?
Oh yeah, I need some of those too. I need to experiment with that.
Eye cups. Get them at Temu, get them at Amazon. Now I'm working with someone where, and maybe you could help me. We're looking to build the Shivambu lifestyle store, so that all these urine therapy protocol devices, equipment, supplies would be one-stop shopping.
Okay.
And I figured it out, but it takes some doing to get it all on my website or to build an actual page. So it links back to, do you have an Amazon affiliate account?
No, I do not.
Okay. Well, that's how I originally set it up. There's got to be a way. So they handle fulfillment and handle all the products and the money, blah, blah, blah. You put that out there and people find all these products, and then you get a royalty check once a month.
Yeah.
So that's another business opportunity for you.
Seems simple enough. I could probably do that.
Yeah. And Have you tried goggles?
No, I need to.
Okay, do you have goggles?
No, I need to get some stuff.
All right, you know where to get these for free?
You told me, but I forgot.
You either go to rec center, fitness spa, or any place where they have lost and found. And you walk in and go, oh, someone lost it. I found it. And these work like a charm to hold it in, and then you can keep it there much longer and do both eyes at once. I've actually seen some of the guys from India who were teaching urine therapy. They were like the first group to put out YouTubes on teaching people. And this one guy says, hey, save some time. He had two at once. He was doing two glass eye cups at once. Now these are the glass. Some people will get hard plastic, but I have this thing, the glass is pretty safe. What else are we missing? Tongue scraper.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, you get those from the dentist. You can probably get them free at Target Pharmacy or somewhere. Hey, you got an extra tongue to whatever. These things, did I show you? You've seen the syringes. Whoops, we lost the tip on that guy. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? There he is. So these syringes, I went down, and this is, you're not supposed to be calling me. All right, can you hold on a second? Most people know about these. It's called a nasal wash. What do they call these things? They call it an earwax removal kit. I bought this at a pharmacy. It's called an earwax removal kit. And it looks like your typical 20 milliliter syringes. So I went back to Target. I mean, this was at a competitor store like Walgreens. So I ended up at Target and I said, hey, do you guys have these in the store? And to my surprise, the pharmacist says, no, but we give these away. You know, they do that little commercial thing. It's 10 mLs, and it'll work in as a backup. So you can get these free. Same with the tongue depressant.
Sweet.
Okay. Now, all these devices you see me showing and using and so forth, I might have told you a story about that. I saw these, and I've been so involved with teaching and writing and researching about urine therapy. All these things on the shelves were like, I saw them in a way that I didn't see them before. And all of a sudden I realized, oh, these could be used for urine therapy. You know, like the bulb, what do I do with the bulb? Like this guy. You see it on the shelf and it says, oh, it's used for kids' ears. I'm going, you can put that up your butt. You can put that in your nose. I mean, that's got a lot of different practical uses. So keep an eye out for things that you would have missed, and you might develop a new protocol, which I love, because that's how all these protocols came around. I just figured it out one day. Any questions?
No.
Nope. Have you had an opportunity to share this sacred practice with anybody?
I've sent the video to a couple of friends, like our past class, and didn't get any feedback. So.
All right. We expecting feedback?
No, not necessarily.
Had you mentioned it in any way to them before?
Yeah, one of the friends I sent it to, he's the one I told you I went on that backpacking trip with, and my other friend got stung by something. I told him to drink his pee, but he was too scared.
Did you tell him to put it on the sting?
What's up?
Did you tell him to put it on the sting directly?
Yeah, I told him to, and he was too scared.
He was intimidated by his own water. Well, people will learn.
Yeah.
What else? Are you in the process of healing anything right now that you're using the urine therapy for?
No, not really. I sleep good, I dream good, have a lot of energy throughout the day. Don't really got nothing to worry about right now.
All right. Well, are you, let me grab a pen here. Are you planning on becoming a teacher?
Yes.
A urine therapy teacher?
Yes.
Right on. And that brings up more questions for me there, Hunter. Because in so doing, and hopefully that this class will impart some wisdom for you, in so doing, that opens you up to as many people as you're willing to serve will start showing up in your awareness and in your field. Now, some of my students, they found out right away if they were ready, because first they did was they got listed at the Water Family Directory, which puts them visible right away. They started putting content on the internet, and in a matter of weeks, they started getting calls for help, for consultations, for directions and guidance. So if you build it, they will come.
Sure.
Which means ready or not, you let the universe know, You'll have clients. You have plenty of clients. You can have some of mine. Matter of fact, in the last 3 days, I had people calling me at 6 o'clock in the morning from Europe and from UK and from Ireland and from Africa wanting a consultation. And I'd only been up for an hour and they didn't know it was Hawaii time.
Yeah.
So I got to remind myself, don't open the phone line too early. So the reason I said that is just to remind you that if you're really serious and you feel qualified and you feel trained enough, yeah, we could use you. The world could use more urine therapists.
We only have one more class after today, right?
We do. That's coming up on the 19th. I've already got your certificate ready. That's coming up. And now Audie, who's going to be showing up any minute now, she's just doing a one-time drop-in. So I don't know if she's going to do a couple of classes. The offer I've made to people on social media is anybody can drop in and do one or more of the classes, but you don't get a certificate unless you complete the whole course.
Yeah.
Which you'll be doing. And as your own self-employed being that you are, you get to dress any way you want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna order a physical copy of your book.
Sweet. Did you want a signed version?
Yeah, sure. That'd be
Okay, well, reach out to me after class and we can arrange that.
all right. Sounds good.
So Audie, hello, welcome to the call. You're on mute.
There we go. Hello, thanks for having me.
All right, glad to have you. This is Hunter on the top screen.
What's up, Hunter? How's it going?
Yeah, how you doing, bro?
Doing good, man.
Audie,
Thanks.
where are you dialing in from?
Houston, Texas.
Oh, is that the skyline behind you?
Yeah, that's a picture I took.
Wow, I haven't seen that for years. I remember before they had like 10-lane highway.
Oh my gosh. That was
Yeah.
a while ago then, huh?
Yeah, I am giving away my age if I talk about that.
Gotcha. Well, it's nice and warm here.
Nice and warm. So it's 9:30 Hawaiian time. We're scheduled to go to at least 12:30. I can stick around till 1. If you guys want to, extend this class, just let me know. But what we do, Audie, at the beginning of every class is we do a little communion prayer. Would you bring some gold water with you?
I did, of course.
Oh, I love your glass. Very, very classy Texas glass.
Yeah. It's a brewery glass, so
It is.
actual good.
So would anybody like to offer the prayer, or do you want me to do it?
I'm fine with you doing it.
Okay, I'm going to grab the book to make this a reality. Now, when I show you a text in front of you, is this backwards or forwards?
It's forward.
Of course, yeah.
All right. So we're going to read it. This was my first book on the subject. And so we're going to read is the prayer from it. Audie, did you get the PDF of today's textbook?
Yes, I did.
Okay, this is the actual hardcover of the textbook. So you know you got the right one. So here we go. Have you ever done any chanting or kirtan?
No, I can't say that I have.
Okay, so chanting is basically devotional music to the divine. You can call it whatever you want. And the style that we're going to use is what they use. It's called call or response, which means I'll say a line and then you'll repeat it.
All right.
And then we'll go cheers at the end. Okay. This is the sacred water prayer from Native Americans. I take this water of life.
I take this water of life.
Water of life.
I declare it the water of light.
I declare it light.
Water of light.
As I bring this water within this body,
As I bring
Water in this body.
it allows me to glow.
it allows you
Me to glow.
I take this water of light.
to
I
take
take
it.
water of light.
I declare it the water of the Creator.
I declare
the water of the Creator.
Or you can call it love or God or whatever you like. I am the master of all that I do and all that I am.
I'm the master of all that I do.
I do and all that I am.
So be it.
So be it.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. So, Adi, when did you start your urine therapy journey, and what inspired you?
It started about 2 weeks ago. Seeing Dr. Group's telegram is kind of what got my wife and I piqued our interest. And I'm on this like health journey, mind, body, soul. And so just reading what Dr. Group had said about it was enough to inspire me to really just say, you know, in a sense, screw it, let's try this. Honestly, it was pretty simple, pretty,
Yeah, straightforward.
Yeah, no messing around. I was like, all right, you know what? I want to feel better. I want to, be my optimal self. So let's go.
All right. So, did you guys have a health challenge, or were you just out of curiosity, or what?
Curiosity, yeah.
Okay. All right. When you first took the first sip, did you have to go through the disgust factor? It was like nothing there.
Oh man, that's what was fun about it. I was just laughing. I was like, I can't believe I'm about to do this. You know, trust, like I said, Dr. Groups. I like what his message. I've seen several podcasts with him. So, if he said something's good, it's like, all right, I'm going to try it. And so just honestly with a laugh, I had a little syringe and just, I had seen somewhere else, put it under your tongue to try to start with. And just say, well, bottoms up, let's go. Yeah. Just like that.
Okay.
So, laugh and a giggle and oh my goodness.
Very good. Well, I've had an opportunity to interview Dr. Group. He interviewed me once, and this guy is like off the chart genius. He's like the whiz kid, and he did all his formulations. He knows how to set up the room, the lab. He's a purist too. So everything he made was spot on. So what you said, it was your girlfriend that also drank with you?
My wife, no, we actually just had a baby girl like a week ago. So she's still, passing blood. So probably in like 6 weeks, she's going to be joining me on this journey. So I'm, doing the research, taking the classes, learning what I can so that when she's ready, we can do it together.
Okay, well, this class, you're going to learn the wisdoms, you're going to learn the protocols, you're going to learn the history, you're going to learn the benefits, all that stuff, which you kind of missed in the first class, but you and I can get caught up at another time.
Yeah, okay.
One thing I highly recommend, you said how many weeks?
About 2. So what's interesting, did it about 4 or 5 days, and then I had a crazy nasal sinus. I didn't call it infection because it didn't hurt, it was just blocked. So I don't know how common that is to experience some sort of adverse. Again, I kept going through it, but some sort of physical manifestation from cleansing or however you want to call it.
It is, because we have not eaten pure. I want to get a little more light in here. We did not eat as pure as we do today our whole life. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Right. So what we have all those years. Can we do this too? Can we do this too? I don't know if that's going to mess things up. We have all those years. We're trying to start with the urine therapy and clean that up. And I'm going to explain why urine therapy works for some people and doesn't work for everybody.
Okay.
And that's a bold statement, right? It's a bold statement.
Oh, okay.
Because everybody says, but Brother Sage, you're telling us it's the panacea, it's the one cure-all. Well, it is, but the reason it doesn't work for people is they don't change anything else in their life. They don't change their diet, they don't change their attitude, they don't change the way they exercise and take care of the body. They're not getting massages and they're not walking. There's a lot of things that make this work, and my approach to healing has always been holistically oriented. So they have to look at the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being of their life and make it all work out.
That makes sense.
Okay. So anytime while we're doing the class, if you want to ask questions, you're welcome. Just toss them out there and we'll make it work. Okay. So I'm going to go over the Shivambu wisdom. I sent you the chart. I don't know if you had a chance to look it over.
Right. All right. I'm looking at that now. I glanced. I just figured I would deep dive when I got you. So
Gotcha. All right. The first one answers a lot of questions when people ask you, should I just do the midstream? Should I drink all day? Should I fast on it? What about if I'm doing medication? What about if I'm eating food? And all those questions you're going to learn to answer. But the thing that makes it work out for you the best is to realize that Shivambu, you're familiar with that word?
in what I've read on your brief book, I read like the first couple pages. So
Okay, you know what Shivambu means?
no, sir, I didn't even get there.
All right, Shiva, that's Shiva right there. That's Shiva and his partner Parvati. So he was considered the Lord of the universe, according to the Hindus. So Shivambu means the water of Shiva or blood of the Lord. Okay, so if you know that it's an intuitive medicine, then that answers most of the concerns that people have. Okay, you with me so far?
Oh yeah.
All right. Number 2. The only thing it cannot heal is what you believe it cannot heal. Because people say, well, is there such thing as an incurable? If you take the word apart, it means you're incurable. All right. So number 3 is that it works regardless of your considerations. And that's another one of the broad statements. What I mean by that is it works whether you use a man's, a woman's, a child, an adult, a different race, a different species. People use their dogs. People in India use goat and cow and camel.
Speaking of kids, if you don't mind me asking, so yeah, with a newborn, is there? I mean, using that urine is a-okay, right? Like, because I know my wife can't use hers if she got, somehow captured the newborns. That would be okay for her to take. Would it be better since newborns are way more efficient, have all more stem cells and all that fun stuff?
Okay, let's go back to it's intuitive.
And
then the third point is it doesn't matter what you think about it. All right. Mothers give it to their kids. Mothers give it to their dogs because they're not going to stand behind the dog's back legs. Right?
Okay.
We have all kinds of stories. One story comes out of Nigeria. A friend of mine, Dr. Bumi Samola, when he was 10 years old, very, very sick. His mom remembered the cultural and ancient ways of her family in Nigeria and fed him her urine. He not only recovered, but he became 25 years later, he became a urine therapist. And as of last I spoke with him, he was building a urine therapy clinic on his property.
Well, yeah.
So there's no limitations here except by our own mind.
Go comprende. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So there is a thing called saturation dosing, which is in the manual. And saturation dosing is what accelerates the healing process. It's kind of like opposite of the way the medical model has taught us that you should follow so many serving sizes during the day, and they wean you into it. They step you into it. But with saturation dosing, you get into those areas of the body and into the blood and into the cells and into the liver and all over the place that would take you a lot longer if you just drank it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna show you some of the protocol devices that I have. Some of them you may have. Do you have any other than the syringe? Do you have anything else?
Anything else in terms of what?
Things you can use for applying it topically.
Oh no, that's the only thing I've used so far. Like, that's how fresh I am into it.
Okay, you're gonna learn that, and thank you for saying that word fresh, because it reminded me one of the other wisdoms is that there is the word aged and aging. You've heard the term aged urine.
Mhm.
Aging urine. Okay, I changed that word. As we're doing a lot with the human language doesn't really empower us very well. So I changed the word aged and aging because people associate that with losing your strength, you're getting old, you're going to get weak. So I changed the word to evolving urine. I don't use the word urine much. It's now known as orin because orin is a softer and more pleasant sounding word. Urine sounds disgusting.
Yeah. Right.
And so when you think about it, it's an evolving orin. The moment you catch it, by the way, people say, well, what age is aged urine? People ask that question. Do you ever come across that?
I've actually thought that myself when I've seen, through the Telegram, people with like the dark brown on it, like how evolved is that urine?
Evolved it, right. So there are different teachers that have come up with their own measurement or standard. The guy who wrote the Water of Life book, John W. Armstrong, in 1944, he came up with a measurement of 4 days. That was his theory, 4 days. Dr. Rosalind Hanson out there in Tennessee, he says 9 months because it's like a body. It's a 9-month period where it matures into gestation, blah, 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 right? And I've had 3 and 4 and 5-year-old orin at the house. I know people will have 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 20-year-old in their house. It gets dark, it gets black, it gets potent as hell. If you decide to ever put that in your eyes and nose or up your bum, it's going to sting for 3 seconds. So that's the take on the evolving orin. People say, well, should I use that over fresh? Well, your intuition will tell you, but most people will agree that it's more potent than fresh.
Mm.
As it develops, it's growing in stem cells, it's growing in antibodies, it's growing in nutrients. We've come up with 4,690 known components in orin. 4,600. This comes from a study in Alberta.
That's crazy.
Okay, just so you know, a lot of statistics in the research that I spout and write about, I did my due diligence. So I'm not making this stuff up. All right. So saturation dosing is going to help you move the toxins out of your body, out of your skin, out of your hair, out of your eyes, all over the place a lot quicker. Okay. If you got something going on in your skin, you got eczema, a bug bite, sunburn pain, stingray, a man of war bite, whatever it is, you get that on there right away. Like I live in Hawaii. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes, I did.
So oftentimes when I'm down at the beach, I don't know if I told you this, Hunter. Oftentimes I'm down at the beach. I take my orin down there, and nobody knows what it is and what I'm doing because people drink beer, right? And all of a sudden I'm putting on, and I've never had sunburn problems.
Oh.
You know all the guys that are putting on sunscreen? Yeah, they're making it harder to it's sick. And sunscreen's got all kinds of chemicals and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, so here's one more Shivambu wisdom. If I missed anything, just go back to the chart, or if there's something you want to bring up, please let me know. Shivambu is a category all to itself. So here we are trying to describe the infinite in finite terms to people. And not everybody will understand what the heck you're talking about. So do the best you can. Was there anything else on the chart I might have missed? Okay. Let me show you some of the items. Thank you for your patience, Hunter.
All good.
Some of the items that we use, we're doing urine therapy. Number 1 is a foot soak. Do you have a Tupperware tub?
Oh yeah. With me right now?
No, in your possession.
Yeah. I do.
Okay, so they'll hold about 1 to 2 gallons.
Okay.
All right. So if you don't have one of those, these are really cool. This is a collapsible tub. Check this out. You can't do this with the Tupperware,
Yeah. Okay.
right? It springs back. So here's how these tubs work. You want to put in just enough Urine to cover your ankles, minimum. So you're looking at about a gallon or more. Now, if you don't have a gallon stored away,
Now here's the question. Again, how much Urine do you usually make in a day? Or do you usually, yeah, get in a day?
that's
So
gonna
like
be
a fresh one of 1 day, an evolved one of 2 days, and combine them to make 1 gallon.
You're talking about when you finally get the right kind of quantity for the foot soak?
Right. Yeah, to achieve 1 gallon or 2
Okay.
gallons.
It doesn't have to be a gallon, because what some people, I'll catch you in a little bit. What some people are a little bit sensitive about, Audie, is putting their feet in cold urine.
I mean, if you're drinking it, it's what's putting in.
What I'm getting to on this point is that some people add hot water, so it's the right temperature for their feet.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And if you decide to do that in any of the protocols, you're going to be turning it into a homeopathic version because it's not full strength.
Okay.
It still has potency in it. Right? So if you don't have a gallon, you can add water, you can add distilled water, you can add tap water. By the way, another thing on the chart, which I just remembered, you should do more up the nose. This is what we do for up the nose.
I've been doing that with the syringe.
Yeah.
To try to help this sinus thing that popped up last week.
So these are two cool things for the nose, either the pump version or the spray version.
Yeah, okay.
All right. So what people are doing is making sure. I lost my track. You moved me off another direction. What was I talking about?
Good.
Oh yeah. Here we go. We're back on the chart. Shivambu alchemizes anything it touches. Another way of saying that is it'll sterilize, neutralize, and raise the vibration of anything it touches. So, for example, here's two good examples. People will take it orally because they have an oral health issue, right? They might have, gum disease, they might have gingivitis, they might have bad breath, they might have something going on in the mouth. So they gargle it, they swoosh it, they pull it. And some people will reach out to you and say, okay, I cleaned out my mouth. Should I spit it out? I said, no. You just alchemized and sterilized what was in your mouth. It's merged with the urine, the Urine, you swallow it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. The other example is people want to take a Urine bath, which most people think if you're going to take an Urine bath, you have to collect like 8 gallons or more. Mm-hmm. Which I've done before, and other people can do it too. But you don't have to have that much if you decide to add city water.
Okay.
Add the bath water in, get it to where it's the temperature is right for you, and know that you don't have to freak out about the chemicals in the city water because the urine neutralizes it.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, there's some things, this whole idea about the midstream that you heard about. Did you hear about that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, that comes back from 5,000 years of teaching the Dhamma Tantra from India, in which Shiva lays out the whole program of how to get healthy and live a long life, because she outed her husband one day. She says, Shiva, how come you don't age? How come you look great and sexy? And what is your secret? He says, drink of yourself and you'll know. And so he lays out the 7-year course or 9-year course of how to heal everything, including how to become physically immortal. Now, one of the verses in there, Audie, it says, you drink the midstream, you want to leave out the beginning and leave out the end. And then the very next verse, it lets you know that it's based on tradition and superstition. Because it says the snake, the flow is symbolic of the snake, and the head and the tail can harm you. But what we really know is in 2023 is that every drop is sterile and every drop is precious.
Oh, okay.
So I hope you'll understand why some teachings are based on mythology.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I've been just capturing midstream.
Don't do that anymore.
Okay. Yeah. I won't. it's based on superstition, but it's also intuition. So
Yeah, intuition. Yeah.
okay.
Let's see. The other thing you'll want to get. It's an eye cup.
Oh, okay.
All right. You can get glass or you can get plastic. You get it on Temu. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at your health food store. These are awesome for doing your eye rinses. You just hold it and keep your eye open and blink 5 times or more. And then you switch eyes after you've done that eye. Right. And then when you're done with that, you just pour it over your eye.
Okay.
Okay. And then when you're done, it's dripping over your face. You go, oh, how wonderful.
Yeah. Will it get rid of floaters?
Well, what? Give odors?
Eye floaters? Little.
Yeah, floaters, cataracts, night vision, any kind of eye issues. However, that would not be the only application because you also know that it's connected to liver health, right? Your eyes, same with your skin. So you'll want to put a compress with a soaked washcloth over your liver, right? In combination with full body massage and foot soaks.
Okay.
Okay. Now we've already gone over. Let me show you a few more things, and then we're going to get up to present time with Hunter because he's been patient.
I appreciate you catching me up. Thanks.
All right, you got one of these cool guys?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, do you own one?
I will here probably in less than a week.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think I do with this?
Let me see here.
Hint. Here's a hint. You keep it in the bath. You keep it in the shower.
For your hair, it's like your new shampoo.
Your whole body.
Whole body. All right.
You put it on the spray setting. Right. You can do it front, and you can get all those parts that are hard to reach. Now, what myself and a lot of people are doing is they don't rinse it off.
That was my next question. So right now I've been still applying it, and then we'll rinse it off and then redo my face after a shower. But that was about to be my next question.
Okay, it's intuitive.
Intuitive.
All right. If you don't want to rinse it off, then my friend, you get used to using your essential oils. So you smell like lemon and peppermint and anything else.
Right.
Now, the reason you want to get used to essential oils, because if you live in a situation, you're not, because you're with your wife, but I've lived in situations where I would almost have to compromise my lifestyle because it offended some of the noses of the housemaid. Right? And the last place I lived before I came here, the woman was so adamant about it. She said, you got to get that out of here. I don't know if we can have you stay here. And I didn't want to leave. I had no backup plan. So I moved everything out to a ice chest in the garage.
Oh my gosh.
You know, and I would take it in and out and I would use it in the backyard. I keep 2 quarts in the car at all times because your car is a portable spa. You know, you go somewhere out in the park and you can, put it all over your body and do your thing with it. And so you get used to figuring out how you have your lifestyle and keep it intact.
Gotcha. Okay. Good to know.
You know what this is?
Is that one of those enema?
Bingo. Yeah, this holds 2 quarts. You want to make sure that these are the first place any good nutritionist will tell you when you're sick or if you have headaches and migraines and you have pain in your body. For most people, they're constipated. Either low level or high level constipation. So you have to clean out your intestines. And if you're putting urine inside the enema bag, whether you're going to do a full out enema or you decide to use one of these puppies and just put in 2 or 3 ounces, or use one of these puppies and do a 2 or 3 ounce implant, you want to make sure that those nutrients are absorbed into the mucosa and up into your body. Okay. You seen one of these?
Oh yeah, neti pot.
Yeah, you know the difference between a neti pot and snorting or drinking up the nose.
I'm guessing one gets up in there and the other one just rinses like back here. I've been friendly with the neti pot. I've been using MMS because there's still, you know, that mental block of I can snort it, but some reason doing the Urine neti pot still is, you know, I'm working my way to
Yeah,
overcome some of these mental blocks. But
you
anyways,
will. You will. We're in that part of the book right now.
cool.
So the neti pot, basically, it just drains from one nostril to the other. It doesn't go in your body. It doesn't go up in your brain. But when you're either snorting, some people are drinking. I won't show it on camera today, but they've gotten good at using their nose as a straw. They've learned to relax the muscle behind the nose bone so it goes down the throat without swallowing it. And the beauty of it is that it rehydrates the 5 sinuses and it gets into the pineal gland in the brain area.
That's why I guess I like it so much. Now, when I do the snorting and it drips down, I will get a little gagging.
Fine.
I mean, yeah, it's just,
That's the way it is.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah. The one thing that is required when you're on this path is a good sense of humor.
Definitely got that. Or at least I can laugh at myself. So, I mean, you know, that's.
Yeah, that's why I included in all the chapters. I included through all my books. I've actually, since I'm really into this, you might say I'm really into urine therapy. I wrote a whole new language called the Piscabulary of Urinisms.
Oh, nice.
And so it's a way to not only have fun with a controversial subject, but it'd be the great thing to leave on the toilet tank or out on the coffee table for people to come over and go, what is this Piscabulary thing?
Yeah, yeah.
And they'll figure out, oh, you're serious, aren't you? You weren't kidding? No, I am. Yeah, I'm serious. So these are some of the things that I use. If you want to go to the next level of eye therapy, you get goggles.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll hold it in place. They'll hold it in place a lot longer. And then you can walk around, blink, blink, blink. And isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy named George Johnson figured it out, and he figured out this protocol. So pretty much all these, and the last I'm going to show you something everybody needs to have. You got to have it in your house, you have it in your car, you'll have it wherever you are, because if you get a scratch and a cut and a bite or a blemish or something going on, you just take out your cotton ball and dip it in and bada boom, put it everywhere.
Gotcha. Okay, that's good to know.
Your wives always have cotton balls, right? The other thing is they also make cotton pads. It's a wider version. And then the Q-tip, you can use it as the alternative to COVID swabs. Use this to swab your nose, or what you can do is just dip your finger in the urine and you want to, make sure there's no bacteria or any sinus infection in your nose. What?
Give a good nose pick. Yeah.
Yeah, well, some people use water picks. The ones that, you clean your mouth, your teeth with.
Oh.
Right? They change the tank out and they put in. Now, one thing I don't have, my nebulizer is coming tomorrow. I had one, but I use it so much I burned it out. It's a handheld nebulizer. It's called a mesh nebulizer. And it either has a mouthpiece or a face mask on it. And that's awesome to vaporize the urine, and then it becomes real tiny particulates like a gas or a vapor. And so when you're nebulizing up your nose, it has a greater ability to get up into the higher regions of the brain.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard good things about nebulizers. It would make sense. Yeah.
Right. Now, what we used to use before nebulizers came on the scene was basically a diffuser that you use for diffusing essential oils.
Okay.
And if you decide you're cool with it, what I would do is I would diffuse the room for 6 hours.
Like
Take everything.
I mean, yeah.
I can tell you.
That's me.
You can have fun with this. So, any questions?
No, I covered. This is good to know. These are good tricks of the trade. So yeah, this is very informative.
And what you want to do is dig in as deep as you can, take it a step at a time. By the way, if you want to introduce it to somebody and you're wondering if they can keep an open mind or not, see, there's two questions you want to ask people. Number one, I'm about to tell you how people worldwide are staying healthy and preventing and curing diseases. Can you keep an open mind? Right? Because you're about to lay pee drinking on them. You want to give them a little.
Exactly. Exactly.
The other question is when you mention to them, they say, isn't that a disgusting waste product? I always heard it was disgusting waste product. First question you want to ask them, Adi, where did you get that idea from?
Yeah. See, and you're asking that, I have no idea where. I guess from childhood, from like maybe probably TV, like, ew, gross, pee. But yeah,
There's television, there's from the doctor, and then there's early toilet training.
yeah,
Right? Make sure you tap, make sure you do this, and make sure you do that, and don't hit it right in the middle of the toilet.
kids, if you got a little on you.
Yeah.
That makes
So
yeah.
if you ask them, you'll find out they never did any research. They took it for granted. This is why the world is so messed up, because people didn't question authority.
Right.
And now people are questioning everything and going, oh, that was a lie, and that was a lie. Oh, that was a lie.
Yeah.
That's why I'm excited about being on planet Earth in 2023, because everything is being brought up to tell the truth about it.
Yeah. I know. A lot of suppression, but a lot of awakenings going on. It's exciting.
A lot of it. Even the people you thought were just going to be zombies forever.
Yeah. And they're asking the certain health questions, and you're like, oh, you waking up. It's fun.
Yeah, yeah. And it doesn't matter their background, doesn't matter their religious beliefs, it doesn't matter, what country they're from. When you wake up, you wake up.
Mm-hmm.
So this has a long history. Urine therapy has a long history. If you read in the book, it talks about going back to the explorers and Rome had a tax on it. They use it for the laundry. People have used it in the agricultural industry. They still use it today.
Do they really?
Yep. See, when people do foot soaks, they ask the question all the time, well, how long should I keep the urine in the tub? You can use it as long as you want. The only thing is, if you decide you want to switch from topical to oral, you'll want to strain it out because things fall off your feet. Right? Yeah. You could have dirt, you could have mud, you could have lint from your socks, God knows what. Yeah. So these are various things that you'll want to learn eventually, and then you can do that. An easy way to baby step people into trying this, which is also in the book. There's a baby step method where you first tell them to, hey, collect your pee and come back. Right? And the next thing you tell them to do is, I want you to put a finger like your pinky in there. You want to build a new pathway, right? You want to create a new association. So you have them put their finger in it and hold it up and then say, hey, do you notice you didn't get sick or die? Right? I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but we're telling the truth here. The second round is to have them take a dip and then lick their finger. You notice you didn't get sick or die? So little by little, you're stepping up to where they do a dropper full. When you get them to 1 to 3 ounces, you can cut them loose. Somewhere along the line, they figured out that maybe their water was made for them. Maybe there is a medicine that you don't have to go out to the store and get. What's very comforting, and you may have figured this out by now, Adi, it's so regenerative and it's so rich in its nutrients that people fast on it, people heal on it, and it's so complete in its own ability to help your body out. If they mess with our food supply on the planet and you can't get any food, but you can cup your hand and pee in your hand, you can make it on this planet.
That's crazy.
That's crazy good, and nobody's going to ever tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It was actually in 1917 that there was this organization started. You might have heard of them, the Rockefellers. So 19,
that wonderful family.
oh, just right up there with the Waldens. They're just a sweet, yeah. So they decided to establish the Rockefeller Foundation, and its premise was to control healthcare industry worldwide. Now, back then, they didn't like competition because they like to own everything. So everybody who was practicing alternative healthcare, including urine therapy, was demonized, propagandized against, and they tried to, stop this practice, but they couldn't because there's billions of people on the planet, and we figured out there's at least 500 million of us in over 50 countries practicing this. They couldn't suppress something that was bigger than them. So yay, we still have urine therapy.
Yeah. Thank goodness. Yeah, it wouldn't, if it didn't work, it wouldn't be around. So, right.
Yeah, and thanks to brave naturopaths, holistic health practitioners like Dr. Group, Christopher Keys, Amanda Vollmer, some of the names you might have heard of before, we're putting our name and a reputation to this water because that's how important it is. And I've seen some of these guys, they went out, like Christopher Keys, he's known as the vaccine police. And Harry Matadine out in UK. And even myself, we went in front of television cameras. And I had Channel 7 come to, I was in Boulder at the time. We had meetup groups at the library, which was pretty revolutionary at the time. And Channel 7 came and I was teaching protocols and we were drinking it. And I said, you should try it. And we were kidding around with the camera guy, the journalist. And it was a beautiful piece. We did a lovely video. And the very last 30 seconds, they bring out the doctor to demonize all this hard work. Oh yeah, these guys are in a cult, they're crazy, blah, blah, blah. But what they did not know, didn't realize that now, it's about 6 years ago, there's been over 77,000 views on that video.
Oh, nice.
So even negative press helps.
Yeah, that's, they always say that any press is good press. So yeah.
Any press is good press. So let's get Hunter back here so we can pull the book out and do some reading. Do you have any questions?
No, none at the moment.
Okay. We're going to go to page in the book. I'm sure you can find it through the PDF version. We're looking at chapter 11.
Okay, 153.
Keep breathing.
There.
Okay, chapter 11 is about clearing the mind of negative associations, beliefs, ideas about UT, including suggestions, theories, and myths taught to you, especially by our lovely medical industry. And so where we are in our reading is page 160, and the topic or the question is urine really sterile or full of germs? You see that?
Mm-hmm. I'm there.
All right, so here's how we do this in the class, Audie, is that I'll read for a while and then pass it over to one of you guys. That work?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right. Top page 160 is urine really sterile or full of germs. Being made in the ultimate sterile environment without any contact from outside the body. Your water is being made in ultra sterile laboratory conditions. It's always designed exactly to meet your most current bodily needs, stored in a sterile container called the bladder, and signals you by using pressure that your elixir is ready. It's interesting to point out to people that this ultra-filtered golden plasma, this water that some people call urine, was just plasma before it got sterilized. So basically what you're drinking is a form of life-giving blood in a highly sterilized situation where 1.2 million nephrons decide to take out everything and identify any threats to the body and create antibodies. So it's the perfect medicine for you. And like I was talking to Hunter earlier, a lot of us have stopped taking supplements. Because most of the supplements, I was a nutrition consultant for many years, most of the supplements are synthetic or isolates of a plant. and the whole supplement industry came at the foothill, came right after World War II, when they found that vitamin C helped scurvy and it helped all these people. And they dumped all the excess out on the market and they started selling vitamins and health foods. And it was, a lot of it was hype. So you gotta always source out plant-based anything. Okay, here we go. Does it smell sometimes? After a while, the uric acid in urine changes to ammonia, and only then does it start to smell. However, the smell evaporates completely after the urine is absorbed into the skin or any organic surface. Another way of saying that is, you know, when you lay out a new rug, they use the term outgassing. Eventually, the smell goes away. So if you're concerned that people are going to go, oh, here comes Audie. Here he comes. He's got
prison here.
I got used to that, and still I started using essential oils until I realized it would start evaporate. They're going, what is this? Your pheromones, or what are you? You smell, yeah. So you learn to understand it. It doesn't last, and when you move over to raw foods and fruitarian and live foods, that doesn't happen.
Hey, brother, what page are we on?
We're on page 160, second question.
Sweet. We're on Cody.
There are thousands testimonials. If you ever want testimonials, go to Shivambu Hut. Do you know what that is yet, Audie?
No, I've had seen it in your emails, but I've not familiarized with it yet.
All right. Here's the website. Go to this website first. SHIVAMBHU.org. You go to that website, and at that website is the home of the Shivambu nonprofit organization that we put together to create a whole infrastructure for the worldwide movement. And there is a link to get a free membership of the Shivambu Hut, which currently has over 1,093 members. Now, what makes it different than Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, and all those other ones is that we stay on topic. We stay on topic and people share their content. I share a lot of content, and people have formed close best buddies and friends because of this group. So it's always going to be free if you want to go check it out.
Yeah, for sure. Cool.
And you can also go to Shirley's Wellness Cafe. It's either .com or .org. She's got testimonials of not only humans using urine therapy, but she's got a whole area on pets. I have a friend that likes to take urine baths. She'll take them. She loves it. And when she leaves and comes back in the room, her dog is in the tub. She's got this pit bull that not only jumps in and out and splashes around, but her dog licks up the urine inside the bath. So she said, wait a minute, the dog knows what this is. So now she puts urine in the dog's water bowl and has to fill it up 3 times a day.
Yeah, I've been hemming and hawing about putting it in my cat's water myself. So that's funny, that pit bull.
Yeah, so play with that, and for sure rub some on her fur.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You know, this dog, by the way, had hip problems up until the time she was jumping in the bathwater. It was neat to see the dog not in pain anymore.
How old is that urine, brother?
It's a whopping 2 days. Yeah, it's evolving really slowly. All right, on page 161. I was 40 at the time and experimented with just about everything imaginable. Considering all the many methods of healing that I tried as a way to become healthy, drinking my pee was not much of a leap. This is my story. What really convinced me to go for the first sip and drink was the writings of Cohen Vanderkroon, The Golden Fountain. I don't know if you heard of that book. That came out in 1994. So The Golden Fountain was my urine therapy Bible, but it wasn't until I started reading The Secrets of Youthing. Secrets of Youthing, which I revised and added more content about urine therapy. This was from my mentor, Leonard Orr. There's me and Leonard. And he was a devotee of Babaji. And he considered Babaji Here's Babaji. And he considered Babaji to be Shiva. And a lot of devotees thought it was Shiva. So I made this connection between him and Shiva, that Shiva was using him to tell me to drink my pee. And so I had a spiritual connection. I didn't think twice. I didn't have the disgust factor. I'm going, hey, it's good enough for yogis. You know, I'm cool with it. So that's how I got started. And a lot of people get started because they're sick or curious. That's how that happened. What has it done for you? It has healed my intestines, vision, hearing sharpened, calm the restless mind. Keeping the discipline of doing urine therapy for 28 years continues to bring me a clear, calm mind, balanced emotions, and balanced energy all day. Now, for the people, now what you missed is the general treatment suggestions in earlier part of the book. But if people ask you a question about what should you use it for, is it good for this and is it good for that? First of all, you want to know that you're not a doctor. You're not a trained medical person. So to keep you and the whole community from getting in trouble, the simplest answer, Audie, is I don't know. They say, is it good for heart attack? Is it good for is it good for COVID? Is it good for blah, blah? Your best answer is to simply say, I don't know about that. All I know is that when I use it, I feel better. Right? You're not going to get in trouble that way.
Gotcha.
So, all right, page 162. And I skip around a little bit because we only have so much book and one or two more classes to get in what we can. Why would anybody want to drink their pee? When I'm done explaining the truth about Urine and have answered all your questions, you'll be convinced. Only when your motivation or your why is strong enough for you to take action and get well, will you hear and understand why millions are healthier and happier because they made the choice to begin and practice AUT every day. And a lot of people who come to this practice gave up on the medical profession. They're desperate. They're seeking answers. And boom, what happens? You or Hunter or myself show up on their radar, show up in their life, which tells me a lot of people are called to this practice. Or they might remember living in mom's belly for 9 months, drinking their pee. Which is something you can bring up in conversation and people go, where do you get this from? How do you know it's sterile? And how do you know it's good for you? Well, by the way, first of all, we have a lot of scientific evidence, thanks to Martha Christie in her book, Your Body's Perfect Medicine, and the work that we've seen coming out of certain PubMed and various other health-related sites. We've got science behind it. It shows their stem cells. It shows it's good for human health and so forth. And right now, Dr. Group and Dr. Otto and myself, we're working with a team to do some research to prove that aged or evolving urine has more benefits, more stem cells, and it should be something people should consider. So that might come up for you too. You're not bullshitting me, really? Really? You can drink your pee and you get better? Yeah.
Now, is there a certain process to aging, like, or you just throw it in a glass sealed jar?
Good question. Good question. The question is about, should you cover it or should you not cover it?
Oh, this is a debate?
No.
Or you just said, okay, rhetorical.
Yeah. It's something, yeah, and people bring it up all the time. And I'm glad you did. Okay, the only reason you cover it is so that contaminants won't fly in there. So there won't be insects, there won't be lint, there won't be dust, whatever it is. So keep this in mind. Whether you put on material, cloth, a nylon stocking, a coffee filter, a sprouting bag made out of flax and hemp, or you put on a screw on top, this stuff can't be contaminated.
That's right, it's an alchemizer.
It's an alchemizer, right? The only reason you cover it so nothing flies in there that you don't want in there. Or ants and bugs walk in there. Right? And if they do, you just strain them out.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you've had yours long enough and you see this little white powder on the bottom, or it looks like a floating SCOBY from kombucha on the top.
I have not, again, I've no aged yet or evolved. with no evolve, so I haven't experienced the floaters.
Let's see if I got anything to show you.
That's fascinating.
Hold on. You guys talk. I'll be right back.
Aged yours, Hunter? How long have you been doing it, man?
Yeah, so I've been doing it for a couple of years now. My most evolved Orin is probably about 3 years old,
Oh wow.
and yeah, there's a bunch of stem cells in the bottom, and he'll get to that in just a sec.
Yeah. So the one that you have 3 years, is that like you're holding it for if something major happens, like you need a cold, or like for what would that potent 3 years be used for?
Honestly, kind of like Brother Sage was explaining, it's intuitional. So I don't have like a direct purpose for it right now, but
No.
I'll know exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
I have some more recent evolving, and it's in a UV safe bottle, so like no light can even enter it at all. And it was just sitting in my windowsill with the lid off. And I went to take a sip the other day, and I noticed something in my mouth. I spit it out as a fly, and that was kind of crappy. But the orange was so potent, I was like, I'm not even gonna waste this. So I'm just like the fly was sterilized as basically my DNA now, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just spit him out and continued drinking it.
Orange soup there. Orange
Yeah.
flies.
Yeah. It's a nectar, for sure. It's a nectar. So to answer your question,
Oh yeah, did you show? I didn't see it because we were chatting the little.
yeah, if it gets old, this is only 2 months old. But if it gets older, you'll see white substance down on the bottom here. And some people go, what is that? Why is there things growing in my water? Well, this is a concentration of stem cells, white blood cells, and a whole wealth of different nutrients that's in there. So what people do is they just stir it up and go for it.
Now, is the taste of a evolved Orin different than fresh?
Hell yes. Yeah. Now, the taste, the smell, the viscosity, the aroma gets better each time you loop it. You know what looping is?
Not in terms of Orin, no.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about that now. There's looping and there's sip looping. Looping is basically the practice of collecting every time you go pee. You collect it, you drink it all. That's looping.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean you're doing a urine fast. That means that you're not storing after you collected it. All right. And some people do awesome at that. I'm over at the beach every day because I live in Kauai. And what's fascinating is you can drink and go out and pee in this ocean. Nobody knows. So, so you can drink all day. Now, sip looping, by the way, is, I knew I was going to get to it. There's looping. You understand that?
Mhm.
Sip looping is a term that our friend Dr. Mike Whittork of Chicago, and he's been doing urine therapy for 22 years. I've been at it for 28 years. And he said sip looping works great. He teaches this to his clients, and he flies all over the world doing teachings in urine therapy with clients. He has them sip. Every time you collect, take a sip. Store the rest. Okay? And that's like time release nutrients.
Yeah, it's a process for me because I have so many jars aging. I continuously have to buy more.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Here's an example of someone who really has a big freaking collection. His name is Daniel, and I hosted 2 Shivambu retreats last year, one in Oceanside, California, and one in Portland. And Daniel shows up in Portland, and his dad and mom's driving a station wagon. He convinced his dad that he could bring 30 gallons to the retreat. And so at one point, we discovered on the property there was a kiddie splash pool. And we put in about 5 or 6 gallons in there, and 6 people were all sitting in chairs using the kiddie pool for foot soak.
Oh my gosh, that's.
And so that is quite a collector.
Yeah.
My heart went out to Dad. because his kid was doing the practice, but his parents, who looked sick, were not. For some reason, he could not convince them they should take the practice, but they were willing to. That was their kid. They said, "Whatever you want to do, go ahead."
Yeah, good point. I know my parents would be like, "Get that out of here."
Yeah. And so that's an extreme version. All right, you have another question.
About the aging again, like, so to get your 3 year, is it just from one day, or is it like over the course of a week? You're like, this is what I'm going to age for till intuition says I need it. So like, can it be different days of?
Yeah, you're talking about how, what measurement and time? Like they're 3 days, 6 weeks, 6
Right.
months. Yeah. The simplest thing to do is just date them, put a label on every one of the bottles.
Well, like, can I use today's, like, say I want to age one for 3 months, can I use today's and tomorrow's in the same jar?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, that's all right. You can combine old and little bit evolved.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
There's no dogma in this
Yeah,
game.
I didn't know that how, you know, with
Yeah.
traditional medicine, you have to be so
Precise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of wiggle room.
Okay. Okay. That was my question.
And the neat thing about not having to deal with rules or dogma is that you might be the guy who invents the next protocol.
Okay. Make sure you get a fly in it, then you take a sip of it.
Yeah.
He'll know
Well, people who are doing various other things like plant medicine, the people doing amarita, muscara, the people doing ayahuasca, and the people doing mushrooms and peyote, they tell you that when they loop their urine, that they get a second or third hallucinogenic effect from doing that urine. That's not been my case, but you know, in this community, there's people who approach health all kinds of ways.
I've got a question.
Sorry.
Hunter.
So DMT is naturally occurring in the body, right?
Mhm.
And I've heard that when you age the orin, it accumulates DMT in the bottom. And when I asked you about this before, you said it was just stem cells. But I wanted to know from your research if there was any DMT whatsoever.
There might be. It's going to take a researcher to be able to determine that with the right kind of equipment. Most people agree that that white stuff at the bottom, if you dry it out, this is how alchemists created Ormus gold, the white powder of gold. Or in some countries, they call it soma. So this one woman, she came to the Water of Life convention. I went to the Urine convention in Las Vegas in 2018. Dr. Hansen, she brought hers to teach people how to make Ormus. So she had this little 1 ounce little glass with a screw top, and she was passing this around. And I hadn't really made the connection that it's universal. It doesn't matter whose is whose, right? So I'm sitting here holding her jar. I'm going, I got Roz's pee in my hand. This is so cool. And but nobody asked her, can we try it?
I'm surprised someone didn't.
Well, funny you should say that, since it's a universal water and it doesn't matter if you have a man's or woman's, a child, an adult, a black person, a Chinese person, or white person, it's a universal thing. Doc Mike Whitthorpe was teaching, and I've done this. It's pretty amazing, is to share your orin with your wife, is to drink each other's orin. And every time you do that, you have the immunity power of 2 or more immune systems merged together. And so I'm up to like 17 of my students orin I've drank before. At our gatherings, we have like sipping tasting parties. And Doc Mike said he's up to 50. So are you having fun yet? Getting a peek into the world?
I've been trying to get her to, but she's not there. She's gonna try her own first, this baby steps.
Well, off the record here, I have students who are really, really into each other. They really love each other. They both do urine therapy. And one woman says, well, I wouldn't normally tell this, to people, but we like to pee on each other. You know, they do the golden shower with each other, and it's not. She says, well, that is sexual, but it just feels very sacred.
It changes things once you get away from the stigma.
Yeah, it's all in here. But then you get the nutrients, and you get the hormones of each other's sex glands, and so that's beneficial that way.
I mean, that makes sense.
Nothing's too weird in this community.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
You do what? What do you do? All right, we're going to pull out the book. Let's see. When did we start? Around 9:30? We're going to go till 12:30. Can you guys make it that long? Do another 2 hours?
Yeah.
Adi, what's your time frame?
I got till. Ooh. So I'm trying to figure out the time difference here.
No, don't worry about it. 2 hours from now.
Oh, 2 hours from now. I probably gotta. Actually, I probably gotta skedaddle at 4 or nanny leave. I'm on daddy duty because mom's with the newborn.
What time do you have right now?
It is 3:40. So you have 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay. So we're going to skip on the break.
Yeah, I completely forgot. I was thrilled with all this talk. So yeah, we go here in 20 minutes.
When you talk to people about doing urine therapy, the thing to keep in mind is you can give them all the research and show them all the books and give them all the intellectual version of it. And what people really want to know is that you care more than you know stuff. And it's the same when you introduce any modality of healing or any nutritional supplement. They've heard it all before. And what people really need is an answer to their pain, an answer to their discomfort in their body. And I mean, I have a kind of an advantage to you guys, but you're moving into this rather quickly, is that you use it every day. It becomes part of your lifestyle. You build a wellness lifestyle that's going to give you the results you want for the rest of your life. That gets transferred to them, your confidence in this water. Because when you say, I drink my water and I feel better every day, they're going to look at you and check you out and go, this guy really means it. He's solid. So the more you can practice and the more you really get comfortable and confident with doing this practice, the better you'll be, and the better will be the people who are going to be drawn to you. Just like I was telling Hunter just a while ago, he's a urine therapy teacher now.
Oh, wow.
And if you decide that you want to take this and share it with the world and share it with people you know, be prepared, because they will come. I have more clients than I'll ever know what to do with. So have some. So that could happen to you. Let's go to page chapter. Well, chapter 12, if you want to study at some point, these are just questions that you can ask people to find out where they're at. Because one of the things I do in a consultation is you do some inquiring to find out what is their lifestyle like. What do you eat? What do you don't eat? Do you exercise? Have you ever fasted? Do you ever do any enemas? You get massages? What do you do to relax? Do you meditate? Do you spend time in nature? I mean, these are second nature to me, because I do this every day. I already got my 6 o'clock hike in this morning. And so you build it into your routine. When we do the retreats, 7 o'clock, everybody, we're going on a hike, ready or not, we're going to hike. And those that don't come to the hike, they stay behind, they do yoga or something. So you want to build that in your lifestyle. And these are just questions you might ask people. Where'd you get your education? Are you serious about telling other people? How has keeping up your practice helped you? Do you think you'll ever consider stopping this practice? And that's a question for you, Adi. You're into what, 2 months?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. All right. Are you going to keep going, or you feel like calling it quits?
I'll keep going. It's after the first day, holy crap, I feel better.
Yeah. And that's your experience that people want to hear.
You start to crave, I feel like creates a negative connotation, but like you crave it. You're like, oh, I need it in the morning. It's replaced coffee for me now.
It's going to replace coffee. It's going to replace sugar. It's going to replace salt. It's going to replace dairy. If you want to stop inflammation and having an acid condition, it's going to replace meat. All those things that people still go to, even the vegans, all of a sudden they go, oh yeah, I think I should start eating meat. I'm going, okay, it's a mindset. You guys go and play with that. And eventually you're going to flip and come back. So, I have a lot of patience with people. I met this one guy, he does urine therapy and eats raw meat. And he says he swears by it. And when someone tells you something that's out of your belief system, you have to have space and compassion for that to be okay.
Yeah. It's a good little challenge for it. Like, oh, all right.
I'm going, okay, fine. And I'm not a guy who ever put on tattoos or piercings.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you. So the next chapter, which I'm going to just kind of like go through kind of quickly, is how to prepare for a session. When you're doing a session with somebody, you're going to ask the right questions, and you're not going to know what those questions are until you have the conversation with them. And what I do is I take a lot of notes. And your job is to be kind of like a investigator, because you're going into their belief systems, you're going into their unconscious patterns and their thinking and the programming that led them to this kind of health. In order to get them through that, you got to be very calm and steady, like a 911 operator. And just ask the questions that they'll start revealing what's going on with them, because most people have blind spots. You have them, I have them. Something comes out of nowhere and you go, what was that all about? Well, you didn't see it coming because you weren't paying attention. And it's using our patterns in our mind that just keeps playing out over and over and over again. So this is what you're doing when you're getting ready. Ever heard of a book called The Four Agreements?
The Four Agreements.
Hunter has, yeah. It's by an Indian called Don Miguel Ruiz. And he lays out the four agreements. Remember what they are?
Honestly, it's been a while since I've read that book.
All right, tell the truth. Speak your truth. Don't assume anything. Don't take anything personal. And always do your best. So in there, he says, when you go to a doctor and the doctor gives you a diagnosis and tells you have this condition and that condition, he says he's performing black magic on you. I don't know if you ever thought it that way. They make a suggestion called a diagnosis, and the client, without thinking about it, goes into agreement. Next thing you know, they have that condition because the doctor tricked them into thinking that's what they have. See, it's good to talk to people that are awake.
Makes sense.
So this next chapter, chapter 14, you got 14 minutes, right?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to ask me any questions? Oh, the other thing I didn't mention was the belly button soak.
Been doing that too. I don't remember where I saw that, but I've been doing that. Do you need to, do you do DMSO before you do it topically, or no? Is it unnecessary?
It's unnecessary. That's a personal choice. All I do is soak a cotton ball and drop it in there, or you can soak a washcloth and leave it in there like a compress, as long as you can, or wrap something around it if you want to fall asleep with it. But there are 72,000 nerve endings that end up there when they chop off the umbilical cord. And they go everywhere in your body. They're like tentacles, kind of like the vagus nerve that goes down to your gut. You want to be able to get these delivered everywhere you can. And a lot of people feel like they're more relaxed when they do that. Oh, by the way, I remember what I was saying earlier about someone says, is it good for calming? Is it good for sleeping? Is it good for nervous disorders? Is it, all those kind of related things? If you read the book and you study some of the most widely known nutrients, magnesium and calcium, and potassium, and you'll find out it has such things as serotonin, melatonin, oxytocin, magnesium, B vitamins, DHEA. These are all known as ways to relax the nervous system, the muscles, like the heart, the bowels. And people start drinking it and they go, wow, I feel more relaxed. I'm able to handle stress a lot better. It's built into the medicine. When at some point during the day, and this is why I keep these in my car and in my backpack. At some point in the day, I don't know how you run your energy, how you manage your energy, but it's very important to understand how to work with your energy. And somewhere around 3 or 4 in the afternoon, if your brain starts to get sluggish, you can't seem to keep things going, or your energy dips, start popping some up your nose and snorting up your nose, with one of these spray bottles. It's amazing how quick your brain comes back online and your energy returns.
That's a good tip.
So pack them everywhere. I got them in the glove box. I got them in the backpack. I've got them in, in my house.
Extreme heat or cold, does that affect it in any way?
No, you may not want to keep it in plastic though.
Right. Of course. Can you like freeze it and make ice cubes and put them in like a
If you want to discover a new protocol, let us know. And the other side of that, people have said, should you boil it? One of our students, Matt, I don't know if I mentioned before, he came to the Portland retreat, and he had his aged urine with him, and he was boiling a 2-quart saucepan of Urine. And we were taken back going, he's boiling his Urine. What is this all about? But then we found out that everybody was coming up to the thing while it was boiling and using it like a humidifier and taking it in the nose. There's also a student out in England who went by the name of Tian.
Nice.
Everybody makes up these great names. She swore that she took boiling urine out the side of her house and she could get rid of chemtrails.
I like that.
Yeah, I wish she would have proven it in time-lapse photography. That would have been something we all could benefit from.
Yeah.
So all these things are going on, and it's great to know this kind of thing. Your timing couldn't be any better to come into this walk and come to this path. What was your health like before you started your program?
I've always had pretty good health. A little high cholesterol. I've never had to take prescriptions, never had broken bones, but I'm just on this path of, optimal health. This just seems in line with that.
Mm-hmm. So you've been practicing wellness for quite some time?
For a long time. Like I said, I've been lucky enough to not have any long-term issues or anything. Yeah, exactly. Well, now this for sure won't.
Well, what you have is a prevention and cure for everything.
Yeah. Yeah, found MMS, and then that kind of just led to this, which seems a lot more natural, Well, it is more natural.
I'm going to send you something that I use that's complementary to Shivambu. I'll either send it I'm going to send it to Hunter as well. A buddy of mine found out that there is a solution to trapped chemicals in the brain, that trap forever chemical. The ones that come from the aluminum and the graphene and stuff from the chemtrails that comes into the pesticides and herbicides that's in our soil, that's in our food, even the organic, the stuff that's in our water, all the stuff that's unknown to people. And they try their hard with fresh juices and detox products and all kinds of stuff, and they can't seem to get it out. Well, we now have a way to do that.
Sweet.
And it's from zeolite and marine plasma.
Okay.
So I'm going to send you a short 2-minute, 3-minute video that describes it and why it's the answer.
Cool. Awesome. Appreciate that.
So what else? We got about 8 more minutes for you, my friend.
Yeah. Thanks again.
Our next class is next Wednesday if you want to come back again.
Yeah, I probably will. Actually won't be late at that time. I don't have a appointment. Let's see.
A pressing engagement.
Yeah. Well, it was a kind of an impromptu thing, but any other questions? No, except for that zeolite thing. Yeah, so the nasal spray, I need to do that. I just need to get a bunch of some, what is it?
Devices,
Delivery, uh,
equipment.
yeah, delivery equipment and start evolving some.
I would also direct you to brothersage.com. There is a link, and you find the tab that says About, and there's a drop-down menu. At the bottom is a link to the Water Family Directory. And the reason we put that together is so that anyone in the world can find their closest urine therapy teacher or therapist.
Okay.
Okay, so we have people in the United States, we have people all over the world. If you ever want to be listed as either a beginner, intermediate, or master teacher, let me know.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
The other thing I offer to anybody who wants it is an honorary PhD in urotherapy. And the reason I'm able to do that is that I was given that honor from Dr. Vijay Gupta, who was my mentor. He'd been doing urine therapy in India since 1984. So I have a PhD.
Yeah.
And you can be known as a professor. So I highly encourage people to join some of the social media groups or Shivambu Hut because everything you possibly have a question to, they answer. Any testimonial you could possibly be looking for, any kind of anything, including videos from movie stars doing urine therapy.
Oh.
From Brad Pitt to David Duchovny to Madonna. We've got all these on video. Bear Grylls.
Oh yeah, of course, Better Grylls. Okay. Okay. That's awesome. It's good to know, and it's great to be familiar with the resources too.
We have more than you'll ever need because of all the research that everybody's been doing, not just myself, but a lot of people have done deep dives and found things that were buried on the internet that were posted in the early 90s that nobody found before. And newspaper magazine clips from even 1960s and 70s. Do you know who Moroji Desai was out in India? He was a prime minister of India. And in 1964, he comes to America and he's interviewed on 60 Minutes by Dan Rather. And he says, well, my secret, and he's 93, right? He ends up living to 99. He says, I drink my urine. It's been my secret to health and longevity. You want to try it, Dan Rather? He says, no. I'll just leave it to you Indian people to do that.
Yeah.
But he was brave enough to come on CBS and talk about urine therapy in the 60s.
Yeah. That's some bravery, man.
Now, some people actually believe that it was Gandhi when he was in prison, when the British put him in prison and he was fasting on his Shivambu. They believe that when Jesus was in the wilderness for 40 days, that's what he was taking. If you look at the beginning origin of Ayurvedic medicine, it's based on urine therapy. So we got an intersection between the yogis, the Buddhists, the Ayurvedic people, the Indians. We've got a lot of people in Germany. There's like 7 million people in the Germany organization. There's 3 million in China. Doc Mike Whittor came up with the statistics recently that there's over 800 million people in 50 nations practicing Shivambu.
Wow. Yeah, you don't really. It's just so silenced and suppressed. You didn't realize that the community is that big.
It is. You have to broaden your vision or broaden your scope to be able to see that. And when you go to social media, I mean, these guys they're loud. They're chattering a lot. They're posting a lot about it. And they come up with the cutest memes. So,
Oh, I bet. I'm sure.
yeah, even somebody put one in, they did a meme of Donald Trump peeing on Biden a couple of years ago. And they didn't realize that meant something to us. It didn't mean anything to most people.
Right. Different level, wavelength.
Different wavelengths.
Yeah. And out of curiosity, how much Orin do you drink in a day?
I drink about 2 quarts minimum.
Okay. What about you, Hunter?
It's kind of it varies every single day, but I'll definitely drink my morning urine every morning. and some age all throughout the day. So
Gotcha. And now, so say you're doing your morning, fill up your cup. Do you drink that whole cup then and there?
yeah, full spectrum.
Okay, full thing. Okay.
If you will, if you get in that habit, Audie, if you're ever constipated, you drink a quart. You better get to the toilet.
Yeah, I've noticed even just so I don't drink the whole, I'm baby stepping my way there. I've noticed though, after an hour, like, you gotta go.
Number
You know?
two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it goes, it does the entire GI tract. It's a great way to do the whole thing without doing a colonic or an enema.
Mm. And then actually, it's just still hard. Like I have to do it's hard to get a whole glass for me still. I guess it's just the mind over matter.
That's all it is. You have to make an association with it like that's your beloved. It's a
Yeah.
sacred water. This is water just for you, made by you, and it comes when you need it. So, it's all in your head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm glad I've been able to get over it, but still it's a process. And
Okay, then we're gonna all come visit you and we're gonna have a drinking contest.
well, if it's a contest, then I can bottoms up at that point, the competitive in me, I guess. But awesome. Well, cool. All right. I gotta take care of my toddler, but I appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be on next week.
Okay, well, we can set it up like we did last time.
Yeah, sounds great. And
The
Hunter,
link,
meeting you, bud.
Hunter, Audie's saying goodbye now.
Peace, Audie. It was good to meet you.
You too, man. And Brother Sage, thank you so much for the info. And yeah, I'll see y'all next week.
All right, Audie. Much love to you and your family.
See ya.
Aloha. Okay, hold on, Hunter.
We got a question for you when you're ready.
I'm ready when you are.
When would I be considered a master teacher?
When you say you're a master teacher.
I'm a master teacher.
Say you're a master teacher. Let's declare it so with the power of the universe. Poof, he's a master. Because people are going, well, I don't feel like I should be called a master teacher. I said, well, do you help people? Do you make a difference? Yeah. Well, the only reason you're not a master teacher because you don't believe you're one.
Fair enough.
And it's true about anything in life. People say, well, when do I get to become this and that? Are you ready now? Yeah. Okay, you're that.
I am that.
Yeah. How is your powers of manifesting?
Instantaneous.
Instantaneous. Has that been your experience?
Yeah. That's why I got to be careful, because if I'm thinking not positive things, I'll manifest that.
Yeah. Yeah, the universe is honorable. If you have anything else going on in your field or in your unconscious, it's going, oh, that's what you really want here. Boom. And it may be, unpleasant. You go, oh, where'd that come from? Oh, I asked for it.
Yeah.
So let's take a little break and then come back.
Okay. Yeah, I can.
May the juice be with you.
Chapter 15. Presenting your urine therapy service professionally. First, remind yourself that you got healthy and well because you drink urine. It is the water of life that saved your life and is keeping you vital, strong, and active. Still concerned about your partner or parents disapproving or judging you for drinking pee? Know that your radiant health, true happiness, and mental freedom is contagious. Walk your talk. Teach by example. Let them see you being true to yourself and committed to your well-being. They will come around soon. Hang in there. You earned your body, mind, and health back from every drop of Shivambu that passed your lips. Now go tell the world. Would you like to become a urine therapy teacher, therapist, or an author? What is the role of a teacher or therapist? Would you like to become the next successful urine therapy teacher or best-selling author? Differences between teaching and counseling are especially notable as related to the goal. Teaching is about establishing a goal, then giving information and possibly advice about a course of action. Ideally, the teacher conducts a needs assessment and identifies a specific learning gap or challenge and establishes a clear learning goal that bridges the learning gap. Counseling is goal-oriented, but in a different way. Neither the counselor nor the client has an exact agenda or agreed upon goal. In most cases, the goal of the conversation goes beyond just suggesting on practicing auto urine therapy protocols, but the inclusion of health and wellness practices for mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. In other words, both client and counselor, during their initial consultation, assess the client's needs, use inquiry to gather basic information from various areas of their life, and decide if you are a good match or would make a good team to move forward working together.
Give them an opportunity to tell you if they want to work with you. Don't assume they will because you know the information.
Yeah, for sure.
And if they say no, you can't take it personal.
Yeah, everybody resonates with somebody different for sure.
Exactly. And you may or may not be a fit, and that's where the rubber hits the road right there.
Yeah. The role of the client. A teacher leads the interaction. As an expert, they give information or recommend a course of action. The teacher helps the client to achieve a skill, mastering oral therapy protocols and practices, or avoid a particular action. Instead of eating mucus-forming, acidic, inflammatory, or human-made foods, you'll suggest that they eat living foods, fast, take enemas, or practice meditation. A counselor encourages a client to do most of the talking while the counselor listens, often taking notes during the consultation. These notes give clues, insights, and an understanding of the depth of a client's cause of their health condition. The counselor facilitates the sessions. They do not make a decision for the clients, and most certainly, the counselor does not give advice, but rather makes general suggestions.
You understand why?
Yeah, it's intuitional, so it really depends on the client's needs.
Well, the fact that you're empowering them, you're not taking responsibility for their work and their well-being. But here's the suggestions that you could do if you're willing to do that, and you're willing to make the changes, and you're willing to commit, you'll get the results.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, keep going.
Sometimes the client changes their mind on the course of action, and the counselor's responsibility is to support and assist them through this process. The roles are very different between teaching and counseling. The teacher's main job is to talk and instruct while a client listens. A counselor's main job is to listen, guide, and empower the clients. In short, the difference between teaching and counseling are the words direction or facilitation. Teaching focuses on directing an action. Counseling focuses on facilitating decisions or next actions using inquiry methods, see Chapter 10. Coming to the closure or completion of a session, be sure to allow time for the client to express or communicate anything, especially if they are unclear about what was discussed or what to expect next.
You got to allow that time because some therapists you go to, they're really strict on the time. We've committed to an hour, we're going to quit at the hour, but they need to have like a 10-minute window at the end. So whatever comes up with the client, they can have the time to talk about it.
Mm. Ask the client if they wish to schedule another session and go deeper into the healing work with you. This leads to the follow-up. When you are both certain about doing more sessions, then reschedule them in the next 5 to 7 days. Every session is different and reveals something to the client that they may have missed in the previous session. be sure to ask for referrals.
So the reason you say 5 to 7 days is so they build on that momentum of what you're doing.
Mhm.
It's like you've touched on a sensitive part of their life. You have to address it, and then you want to bring it up again within a week and see if they've gotten through it and they're ready to go deeper, ready to go to the next phase. And so this is why I space them 5 days, 7 days, maybe 10 days apart. And you can also find out if they're really committed.
Yeah, that's fair. Shivambu is an intuitive water or medicine. Once you choose this lifestyle, or it chooses you, and you absolutely know what urine therapy is doing for you, you will never quit the practice or look for something better.
Mhm.
After gaining enough experience practicing auto urine therapy and are sure that you are ready, students and clients will seek you out.
Yeah, I told you that earlier.
Yeah. How well do you practice using your intuition? According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, intuition is an ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. It is the power or faculty of attaining direct knowledge or cognition without evident rational thought and inference. Do you feel confident with your intuitive abilities? Intuition is a tool. It is only as good as the person who uses it.
Mhm. Which is so true.
Start today, right where you are, and practice being more mindful of using intuition. Mastering the use of intuition, along with mastering conscious breathing, is not only pivotal to your well-being and your clients, but also to everyone you know and will cross paths during your life. Breathe. Know that your intuition, instantly giving you quick and ready insight, is always at your service to guide and keep the session on course. Assist in making good choices and giving advice, suggesting lifestyle changes, and co-creating the best sessions with every client.
Some people have described your intuition as your co-pilot, as your team. If you're going off in the wrong direction, it'll set you straight. It'll guide you through the difficult times, and it's with you at all times.
Mm-hmm.
It's always comforting for me to know that.
In a way, I would say if you're like really tapped in, though, it's actually like the main pilot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, where are we?
Couple paragraphs above the they always heal themselves.
Gotcha.
Remember, you are an instrument, bridge, or guide for your client to do his or her own work with your assistance and cooperation. Your work is not to save, protect, improve, or change anyone, especially clients. The sooner a client can throw away their psychological and mental crutches, concerns, doubts, and fears, and take responsibility for their self-health care, the faster they will heal and grow. They always heal themselves.
They always do. We're just not taught this in society.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it from there. Most clients come to you out of desperation. They've given up hope and faith in the medical system and are looking to you and UT as their last chance to save their life, reclaim their health, and have any quality of life. You may, at times, when being approached, page 200, by new clients, feel like a first responder, answering to emergency calls, which can tend to scare you. I had an example that this woman calls me up from the East Coast. And within 5 minutes, I realized I had to do a serious intervention because she called me. Her mom booked a flight to Houston. They were living in Georgia. And she booked a flight to Houston. And she didn't want to go to a doctor. She didn't want to be cut up. She did not want to be probed by the doctor, but her mom bought the ticket. So I had to think on and think of my feet for intervention purposes. And she got how serious it was to not go to Houston. She convinced her mom to get a refund and stop the ticket, stop the flight. So she instead decided to stay home for a week and fast and take care of herself.
She got better?
I'm waiting to hear back from her. But you might find yourself in a situation where you got to act really quickly because it could be life or death.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Now would be a good time for you to set the book down, go somewhere, do some breathing, get re-centered and calm. Go pee if you must, perhaps do some shaking of the body. I'm in the middle paragraph. Go pee if you must, perhaps start shaking the body, take a shower, do some dancing, do some yoga, do some singing, yelling, chanting, skipping, running, or walking. These are powerful tools to use either during a session or any time during the day when you feel stuck, anxious, concerned, confused, and uncertain, or in no movement. Did you ever get there?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, your creativity can't seem to come up with good ideas. You don't feel like any movement's happening. You feel blocked. That's when you got to get physical.
Yeah, gotta do something.
You got to do something because the universe does not like you when you're stuck.
Yeah.
And it blocks the flow. All right, bottom page 200. Breathe, exhale, repeat. Keep in mind that on this path, we give a lot of thanks to the golden blood plasma water. We're constantly cleaning, purifying, washing away impurities in our body, our minds, while leaving us feeling fresh, clear, calm, balanced, and sane again. Page 201. Presenting your service professionally to the media, unproven promos that will bring greater interest in your work. Now, there's only a few of us that actually have taken the time to go to the press. Harry and I are at least two of them. We're willing to lay it all out there and talk to television, radio, newspaper. And if you got the courage to do that, I'll be there to help you out if you want to do that. Whether you read this manual, page 201, when mentored by one of the UT master teachers or felt intuitive, let me write this down. Hunter is now a master teacher.
Yeah, you can add me to the water family.
Are you on the directory?
Not yet. You can add me too. I'll send you my information after class.
Well, I'm going to tell you how much I charge. So at that point, you can decide that.
Okay.
I do have it at the water. If you go to the water family directory at the very bottom of all those cities, countries, and states, you'll see the pricing because people either pay by the year or they pay for a lifetime.
True.
Okay. For the sake of this chapter, let's move forward in time when you have guided or facilitated enough sessions as an amateur teacher that you feel ready to become a professional. Let everyone know. Now would be a good time to get prepared, create an online presence with a website, business cards, blogs, social media, and possibly a YouTube type of platform. Not everybody's ready to go that much, but if you are, that's where I'm playing is on the world stage.
Mhm.
And you get a much broader audience and you can help out a lot more people. So, creating content is really valuable these days.
Yeah, it is.
One of the best ways to get known and gain respect by readers and possibly interested clients is by writing and posting, just said that, posting articles and producing videos with UT content that demonstrate your knowledge of the subject. Writing UT articles reveals your knowledge and perhaps that you may need to do more research to sharpen your grasp on the subject. The more you can post content in the dozens of Facebook groups, Telegram, Instagram, WhatsApp, they're all over the place, the more you will get known and create a growing number of followers. At one point in time, critical mass is reached and clients reach out and contact you. There is such a great need for UT teachers, therapists that you will have no problems manifesting clients and students. So I'm just going to kind of breeze through this. I've given in the next couple of pages, I've given you some examples of slogans, catchy phrases, things you can use to stimulate your imagination or borrow these. For example, on page 203, discover your own free natural immunity booster. Right? That's just a quick slogan that you can use and you can go into great detail. Page 204. The good news is that you have been carrying that perfect medicine and elixir of life with you since birth. And there's the slogan underneath it. Discover the world's ultimate free immunity booster. The next page, it says, the best immune booster is also free. These are various different slogans that I've used over the years. We're going to move over to page 205. This is amazing. The medical industry lied to us with propaganda about the nature of our own bodies, our own organs, the way to keep the truth from humanity. If you read this far, pay attention. There are countless enthusiasts and devotees who are extremely grateful that drinking their own water was the perfect medicine that they were seeking. It was an answer to their prayers. Because of their devotion to their own practice, they have learned that no matter what health challenges they may face, UT does restore their health every time. And I posted on Facebook this morning. Was it Facebook? Telegram. That what heals you is your mind. People say, was it the urine? Was it the supplement? Was it the facilitator? Was it the healing modality? Yes, but it was your faith in that working is what made it work. And there's some things like Shivambu is beyond your thoughts about it. For some people, you can just say, drink your urine. Well, do I need to know more about it? Just trust your water. And then get results, which is always constantly amazing to me. With very little assistance from any publication or media, I'm near the last two paragraphs of page 206. With very little assistance from any publication or media, the UT movement continues to grow, prosper, and stay alive with 50 known countries, people practicing in 50 countries. It was a grateful and humble heart as the founder and director of Shivambu, nonprofit organization, UT author, master teacher, and outspoken voice of Shivambu, that I am fully committed and determined to assist in the declassification of urine. It's like people want to declass the Kennedy assassination. Well, let's declass how they, classified urine and bring that to the world. I feel like a whistleblower. We're debunking their theory about urine. Drinking the living water that matters and share this message with everyone. Let's entertain our minds by thinking and visualizing that our clients and ourselves are healed already. Be sure to love and nurture yourself with rest and play. We're going to do just fine. We got an hour or two to go. To charge or not to charge, does that come up for you? Or does that come up in any conversations with anybody?
I've contemplated it. I haven't really sat down for a session with anybody, so it hasn't come up.
Okay. Do you want to receive an exchange of money as a value for your service, your work, and your energy?
It would be nice.
Okay. Well, this is all the makings of a new career for you. I charge either by a session or by people can buy a 5-pack, a 6-pack, or whatever, for people who want to dig deeper every time to clear things out of the way. So one thing I've always done in all my work over these umpteen years is to have wiggle room for people so they can negotiate with the price if it's too much for them or if they need to arrange payments. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what this chapter is all about, is whether you charge or not, that's up to you. People have, some people have decided to challenge me on social media. They go, how can you do that, Brother Sage? It's free. The urine is free. Have we had this talk?
No, I haven't with you now.
All right, the urine. And I say, yeah, that part is free. But the years it takes for the teachers and the writers and the experts to do the research, to write the articles, to produce the videos, that's a lot of time, energy, and money to put together. So you have valuable experts to work with you. I'm trying to tell them that you just don't expect the dentist to give you free service or the stores to give you free groceries. And usually the people who are throwing that at you have a poverty mentality. They have scarcity and they go, well, it's free. It should be free. I said, no, it isn't. But you'll have to negotiate that with whoever you're working with. It's going to be case by case. And I know I'm not the only one who charges.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of free sessions, so it kind of like it balances it out. Uh, so this is what this chapter is all about. Move confidently through the new moment as one knows. The satisfaction comes when the client is self-motivated and when they truly get excited or inspired by their why, page 210, because their success is assured. You just made a friend for life. Now, I'm skipping around, I know on purpose, because the last class is going to be, we're going to talk about other therapists. We're going to talk about inserting humor. We're going to talk about the future. Now, when I first came out with the Healing Water from Within book, I got a download about what's coming up for this movement. How's it going to change? How's it going to be integrated into our regular life? How's it going to make sense with the medical model that's still floating around? And so now, 6 years later, I've seen a lot of these things come true. So that's what the future holds for us. Like spas that offer urine massages, that have urine baths, that have a colon therapist that puts urine in the colon water, in the tubes.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually approached some of these businesses when I was in Boulder. There are businesses that do IV shots. They do the drip feed into the veins. You know, most people go there because they get vitamin C drip, they get glutathione, B vitamins, and so forth. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So I approached it without any thought about them saying yes or no. And I walked in, I say, listen, if you could possibly offer urine therapy injections to your clients, you would have a whole new niche, and I would send people your way. And, you know, it's a good income for you. And she said, I would love to, but our hands are tied because they have to answer to Big Pharma. And the only way around that is to find some retired nurse who's into urine therapy, and she's willing to offer that.
Yeah.
So I haven't found one yet.
Well, I'll
Maybe
let you know if I see anyone.
You know what?
I'll let you know if I find anyone.
Yeah, do. I just assume have somebody else inject me than me inject myself. That's just a personal thing.
Yeah.
There's a percentage of people in this community that they don't mind poking themselves, usually in the butt muscle. Offering a sliding scale is perfect for clients with financial exceptions. By selling multiple session packages, 210, a client will not only save money on each session, but most importantly, they'll be making a commitment to do the work with you on a regular basis. Regular sessions give a client the chance to monitor their progress and to feel that you, page 211, are on their team. They are more likely to do these practices and follow treatments and lifestyle suggestions during the week or time between sessions. Having you in their life is going to be the best thing that boosts their motivation and determination to do this work. It's the same reason people get a personal trainer or a yoga teacher, because most people are generally lazy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get motivated with a coach, a mentor, I'm talking about your upcoming clients, then that's really good for them. They feel even better about the work. They can always reach out to you if they get stuck or they have some difficulty. And you're going to be very vital to their recovery and to their health. So keep that in mind. Giving, page 211, giving away a number of sessions for free will give you an opportunity to practice generosity, as well as find out if you're really motivated by money or for the joy of providing the service. You can also learn how well you know about the subject, as well as your ability to coach and guide other people. Working with the media and social media will require doing some research into which related subjects that they were willing to cover. Have you ever heard of Nexus magazine in Australia?
Never. No.
When they first came out, they were considered in the genre of conspiracy magazines, conspiracy theories. And in like 2005, 2006, they printed an article about urine therapy. 2018, I pitched them on getting something more up to date and modern. And at the time, they were asking me for, do you have research? Do you have science behind it? Do you have any kind of that kind of stuff? And I didn't have I didn't have the wherewithal to dig deep enough and to find all these. I do now, but back then when I introduced it to them, they decided to turn me down.
Yeah.
So you gotta know how they play in order to do that. If presented properly and content is related to modern times, your chances of having your article published or being interviewed with would be much higher, page 212. They like to have references including in an article, which I just spoke about. Whether you are keeping your marketing efforts local, national, or international, it's up to you and tends to go at your own pace. Your success in doing promotions increases by associating with colleagues and other UT teachers. By constantly studying and keeping current with the Shivambu movement, new discoveries, new protocols that are discovered, and building close friends in the water community will be to your advantage. And this is the reason I have spent a lot of time collaborating with the major players in the movement. So we do interviews together. We talk about our work. We talk about the insights and discoveries. And it has helped Harry. It has helped Dr. Group. It has helped Amanda Vollmer. It's helped Brother Sage. We all bring together our networks, which spreads the message a lot farther. So I recommend that you do a little reaching out to the louder voices and the most well-known people in this movement.
Yeah, definitely.
If nothing else, just to get to know them. Everybody has a different approach. First, there was Dave Moore, who was talking about doing a 30-day urine fast. And then we ended up getting Fabian Farquharian out in UK. Did you ever hear him?
Mm-hmm.
He's got the mind like Matt Sinna, like he understands quantum physics, you know, and multidimensionality. And I can't grasp a lot of that stuff, but he puts it in a way that people can understand it. And he's quite a teacher. He's out there in England. So on page 213. Any questions? Any comments?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. It's simmering.
Mm.
So what this chapter is we're going into is other teachers, other therapists. I've been fortunate enough to interview these people. And this first one is Ma Devi, also known as Mata G. She's out in France.
Mm.
And she knows what this water is. She's really lives the lifestyle. As a matter of fact, she won't let city water touch her body. She'll bathe, shower, massage her body with her Urine and let it dry. And she never uses city water. So that's a good teacher right there, because a lot of people will wash. I mean, this morning I went in there and did the sprayer, got it all going on, and then decided to just drip dry in the shower before I stepped out, and maybe a little pat drying, but I never rinsed it off. So that's totally optional. That's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go that route. That doesn't mean that people are going to avoid you. They're going to smell you a block away. Oh, here comes Hunter and Sage. Shiva Kalpa, this is Ma Devi. Shiva Kalpa, known as urine therapy, is an ancient holy science bestowed by the god Shiva to his consort, goddess Pavarti. This ensemble of practices and techniques, page 214, were initially kept a secret only to be practiced by the seeker of truth, perfect health, divinity, and ultimately physical immortality. Since UT is often misunderstood by common human beings, Lord Shiva recommended that it was not for the ignorant and therefore keeping it a secret. And somehow it got out, the word got out. Nevertheless, one can find its roots in most cultures and ancient traditions, holy scriptures, healing recipes and rituals as well. UT is indeed a wonderful thing, and there is such perfection in human beings, although UT is forgotten or unknown by the majority of the world. That's changing by the minute. UT is rejuvenating, healing, holds mystical powers. For those who have the fortune and luck to discover it, fully explore UT, and most of all, stay devoted to their daily UT practices for the long run. UT is wisdom, and a tantra, yogic sadhana, which also is another word for practice. You can find the numerous qualities it bestows on the practitioner in the Shivambu Kalpa, also known as the Dhamma Tantra. Divine blessings, love and light to humanity, Ma Devi. That was Ma Devi. Most of these videos are uploaded on my YouTube channel or Facebook, so you can always find them. If not, I might have to do a deep dive to find out where they're located. So this next author is Harry Matadine. Have you heard of him?
Mm-hmm. He has some books on urine therapy, doesn't he?
He's got 3 books on aged urine.
Doesn't he have one called like the Piscabulary?
That's my book.
Okay, that's your book.
Yeah.
Sweet.
This book came out this year. And this was the best of all the books put together in one with bigger fonts. So this was more recent information. So I had to update everything.
What's in the Piscabulary book? I don't even know.
The Piscabulary of Urinisms. Let me bookmark this spot and I'll talk about it really quickly. This is my way of creating a whole new vocabulary just for the urine community, the water community. This book was written to clear any memories or negative associations you might have about pee due to early potty or toilet training, which may cause resistance to fully know the importance and value of your own golden water. May these, and then there was a blessing. So this is called the Piscabulary of Urinisms. And let me give you some examples. Absorb-urine-lutely. You can kind of imagine what the definition is, and I will define it if you want to. Appealing. You find something appealing. That's water sister is appealing. A-P-E-E-L-I-N-G. Confiscate. Easy peasy. Empathy. Encyclopedia. Wikipedia. See, what I did was I inserted pee, piss, urine, or whatever words that people know about into creating these new words.
Awesome.
Magnificent, pistastic, the pissability. Get the idea?
Mm.
So it was a way to make fun of a what people considered a controversial subject. And then throughout the book is pictures, memes. There's a song by Donovan called Mellow Yellow. Yeah, there's a bunch of, I had a really good time making this book. So if you want a copy, let me know. It's like 30, 40 pages long. Not a really big book, but each one gives you something to think about. Okay, any questions?
No.
No. Okay, we read him out, Ma Davy. Now Harry's been talking a lot about aged urine, and Harry has been gutsy enough to go on television, even though people had thought he was an idiot, thought he was, he stood his ground. He recently did one of those reality TV shows in London, where he comes out with this holy man, and then there's all these contestants. They're having to drink their pee for the first time on camera. And first he tells them all about what it is and why it's beneficial and all this. And then at one point he says, well, if you really want to know the good stuff, the stuff that really has a punch, you got to get the aged urine. So in front of all these people who've just now getting exposed to urine, he takes his quart jar and starts chugging aged urine in front of them, and to their, you should have seen the faces, their looks on their faces. They thought he was nuts. He's drinking aged urine.
You can find that online?
Yeah, you can find that online. You might want to go to his Facebook page.
Okay.
Harry Matadine. I don't know if I stored it anywhere. Oh, I probably put it at the Shivambu hut. But there are a few of us out there that are gutsy enough to be ridiculed and made fun of for the sake of the movement.
Mm-hmm.
So he did that. And the people who knew what the heck the message was are the ones that are still around. So be willing to play one of God's fools or a court jester, because it's very important to keep people from getting sick or serious. That's one of the reasons a lot of people are sick right now, because they've taken themselves too seriously. And so it takes its toll on their body, unfortunately. Okay, let me just read a little bit of Harry, and then we'll move on to George Johnson. Your fresh orange, when contained and allowed to sit a while, becomes what's called aged, like a fine wine. The medicinal powers of the fresh orange grows and grows the longer it is contained and allowed to sit. It is the most powerful medicine on earth. What's going on? Why does it grow in power and potency? What are the mechanisms, I hear you cry? There are many, but the key ones, which are alkaline, oxygen, and high negative ions, are explained in Harry's books on Amazon. In Harry's books and his unique style of writing, he answers the questions like these about benefits of aged orange. Hold on, I got to take another note. Where's my secretary? Okay. How do I age it? Does it smell? Will sending loving thoughts make a difference? Top of page 216. Does aged orange affect my diet, get affected by my diet? Are there any other ways to increase the quality of my orange? Do I need to drink fresh orange before doing aged orange? And 7, what's that white stuff at the bottom of my aged orange? Have you had these questions before come up for you?
Yeah, when I first started, yeah.
Okay, have you found answers?
Through you, yes.
Okay, well, good. There's no such thing as bad orange. There's no such thing as bad aged orange. That's one thing that people ask. Is there an age when it goes bad? Does it have an expiration date? Does it ever sour? Or does that? It doesn't work that way. This is a different category. So some people, you have to give them a little more, information for them to understand why this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Some of mine are so old now, they get mushroom stuff at the top of them. At this point, it's even more powerful than normal aged orange. I leave you with rich blessings and a big thank you. I hope aged orange rewards you with optimal health and vitality, youthful vigor, and gratitude for life. Thousands of years from now, this knowledge of aged orange will be normal. It'll be mainstream and used by everyone. God bless you, Harry Manadine.
Yeah, so like a year or two ago, I remember I was in this aged orange group on Facebook, and there was people that were growing mushrooms in their aged orange. Yeah, what do you think about that? Like, was it like?
It's produced by the orange.
Yeah, and you think that they're beneficial?
Yeah, you got all kinds of stuff from stem cells to white blood cells to nutrients.
You don't think that's like Candida or like fungus overgrowth in the body?
No, I don't think it's fungus. I don't think it's mucus, because what I do and Harry and most people do is they just stir it up and use it. Right? And some people have actually, somebody did this the other day on one of the talks. They're collecting all the white stuff from several jars. They're putting it in one jar and letting it dry out. And that's what they're using for powdered use of it, like Ormus gold. They'll just hydrate it or snort it or put it on their body somehow.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But it's not contaminated and it's not anything to be concerned about. Just, FYI.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get some air in here. Well, chapter 7 was Monica Shute. You know who she is?
Not sure.
She's this ageless, whimsical beauty. She was in Costa Rica, and then she moved to Thailand. Her and her husband moved to Germany. I don't know where they are right now. But she has been the poster child for urine for many years. She's radiant. She's youthful. I think she may be 49 by now. But she's produced a lot of content and videos and teachings, and I had to honor her in the book. So Monica Shute is her name.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find her all over social media. George Johnson is a guy who been doing Shivambu for many, many years. He actually went places like Yellowstone National Park and wrote Shivambu on the driveway entrance to Yellowstone Park. He's got a license plate on the back of his car that says Shivambu, and he walks around with tie-dye shirts that says Shivambu is life. And so that's George. And this is what George had to say real quickly here. Life is water. We came to the world in water. When we were inside the womb of our mother, we drank the water. Where did it go? We would pee it out, reabsorb it. Why do you think babies are so gorgeous, happy, healthy, amazing, soft skin? Because they have the best, most pure health of all people in the world. Page 218. The infinite creator is a genius, providing us with such an amazing start in our life. The powers that shouldn't be think otherwise, that we need to poison our children with vaccines and other things. Etymology explains that meaning of words that when it was created. Pharmacy is explained as a maker of drugs, poison, and spells. That's what the word pharmacy, the original word means. A maker of spells. Does this sound like a company you like to buy products from? And most people haven't gone that deep to understand it. Once we remember and get back to the way life was, the way we started, reabsorbing our own fluids, our life will transform. Urine is the elixir of life, George Johnson. George Johnson, by the way, lost both of his legs a couple of years ago. He had gangrene or something that got infected in his legs, and he had to have them amputated. And Matt, bless his heart, was living with him for a while. And Matt's moved on, but George is now in a wheelchair, and I think he's working on getting prosthesis. But he's a very loud voice for Shivambu.
Like we didn't heal his leg conditions with it.
I don't know the story. I don't know. It might have been an accident. Whatever it was, he's still around. I got a feeling he might surprise us. On page 219, we got about 25 minutes to go. We'll cut out a little sooner. 219, this is Dr. David Jubb. Have you heard of him?
No, I have not.
David Jubb is from Tasmania. He's from Tasmania. And that's probably why he has his hair shaved on both sides and long down the back. I met him at the Water of Life convention. And he brought his entourage, all his followers with him. He's created his whole line of longevity herbs and products. And he told everybody all about urine therapy, and he gave it all to everybody. And at some point in his talk, he told people that he hasn't eaten anything in 10 years. So he's a breatharian. And he showed up at a convention where people are eating. Didn't bother him. He just left the room. So I wanted to read some from David Jubb. The most common complaint, now you'll understand, Hunter, when you hear these words, that this guy has one of those brains for understanding deep, advanced scientific meanings, quantum physics. You'll understand from how he thinks. He knows his way around biology and the anatomy. He knows a lot about healing. So here's in his own words. The most common complaint today is vascular dementia and poor microcirculation. Urea opens up blood vessels by shrinking waterlogged terrain. It is this then that intestinal lesion is healed by B vitamins made by friendly intestinal life colloid, of which the nitrogen from urine therapy is useful. And such a practice shifts life colloid toward useful photobacillus. Arteriosclerosis is rampant in the modern world, and nitrous oxide, carbon dioxide are all smooth muscle dilators, of which urine therapy assists the intestines produced for you by assisting correct intestinal dysbiosis and accompanying layers of cholesterol inside artery walls. As you can tell how he thinks, right? That's often one of the most important insights into urine therapy, page 220. Seeing that all are born in amniotic fluid, as I was growing up in the wilderness of Tasmania, and you know where that is?
No, I'm not sure.
It's just off the southern coast of Australia.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. Seeing that we are born in amniotic fluid, as I was growing up, I used urine to wash, clean, and make dye for cloth. Kept listening to how the originals used urine therapy. Since the late 70s, saw how urea is central to all molecular conditioning of cells, including good skin creams. And did I tell you how they are able to get urea on the label without people knowing what's in there?
Yeah, they just changed the name up a little bit.
Carbamide. They use another name for it. And only people who know that that's the same as P, urea from P would know that.
Mhm.
He gets US therapeutic grade urea to put into his products made from jack beans. Notice that many cultures all were using urine therapy. The kidneys are a regulating essential element and not an organ of detoxification. Once you start drinking or splashing urine on the skin, snorting it through the nose, you should never stop. I've kept up a daily practice ever since. Urine purifies the blood. Urine assists in restoring vital cell salt. Start by splashing or wetting skin with urine. Try gargling, then snorting, and drinking by starting with smaller amounts at first. Page 221. Best to include the life-giving enzymes in the diet and practicing caloric restriction. Only eat 1 meal a day. Is that what you do?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. Does it work?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Your energy is pretty consistent. What you
Mhm.
get there when you need it. Yeah, me too. Urine is the only thing you'd ever drink except for the moment after your birth, colostrum and breast milk. When growing up as an infant, nothing is better than the nutrient benefits of urine therapy. Urine allows elements of the blood to get to the furthest regions of the human body. Blood ordinarily can't reach inside the nose and in the intestinal tract. Did you know that?
Makes sense.
Yeah. I've seen urine used as a subcutaneous lymphatic delivery. UT can stop the effects of a heart attack, turn an asthmatic or an allergic attack around. This provides antibodies and antitoxins abilities to the body. That's when you inject them. If somebody has a shock and somebody passes out and somebody's losing their shit, boom, poke them, they'll come back online. Urine senses overall conditions more than just a local condition as an immune force for an entire systemic effort to take care of you. Love, Dr. Jeff. All right, that's Dr. David Jubb. Dave Murphy is on page 222. Do you know who he is?
Mhm.
He also goes by the name of Allegedly Dave. He's another one of these people he's out of UK. I think he might be living in Morocco or some other island type country right now. He did a 30-day fast on urine. He's a big flat earther. And he's been in a lot of talks about, how we were deceived about everything that's going on in our history and our planet. So this is from Dave Murphy. Aged urine is that which has been stored for 8 days. See, that's his measurement, is 8 days. When stored correctly, urine can be kept indefinitely, and the older it gets, the more effective it becomes. To age urine, store fresh urine in a glass container with a glass permeable covering so that it can breathe. For example, using a bottle, stop it with a wad of cotton wool. If using a jar, cover with a piece of cloth held in place by elastic band. Store in a cool place where it will not be disturbed. Now that's not as important as you can imagine, because some people keep it on a windowsill, some people leave it in their backyard, just wherever you feel like you want to keep it so that it's not disturbed or broken or any of that stuff.
Mhm.
Urine is a living liquid. It remains alive as long as you do. Well, I'm taking that in. It has a life force. It has an intelligence. It's like there's another energy or entity that's sharing your body with you through your fluid system of your body, through your blood, except it's on your side.
Mhm.
The stem cells, undifferentiated cells that can become anything within the body, can become anything. It continue to divide and multiply while in storage. This makes aged urine a very powerful agent for healing cuts, burns, rashes, inflammation, or for any topical use. That also includes poison ivy. That also includes jellyfish stings, wasp stings, hornets, sunburn, scratches, cuts, you name it. Right? It even works on us guys that are over 40 that have capillary bursts. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Let's see, is mine all healed up by now? I got one happening over here. But in 4 days, it's almost gone. In 4 days, it's always healed. And I don't know why the significance of the 4 days, but every time I have these capillary bursts, I rub it on 3 or 4 times a day. And in 4 days, always 4 days, it's gone. So I haven't figured out that. I'm going to leave that in the mystery department. So that was Dave Murphy. There's a little quote from Fabian Farquharian. Fresh urine is perfect for long-term daily uses that boost bodily performance. We're going to hear a little bit from Leah Sampson. She also prefers to be, she's Native American in Canada. And so she likes to be called Standing White Buffalo. And you can see her pictures in the upcoming pages. I had a lovely time interviewing her. She was, she had major health conditions. She was overweight. At one point, she had burns all over her body. I don't know how that accident happened. She had burns all over her body. So because of urine therapy, all these were healed. She lost her weight. She still got a body brace around her. She's, finally healing out whatever happened to her spine. But I've seen pictures of her in Louisiana dancing in Mardi Gras with feathers and a beautiful, outfit on. And she turned her life all around because of urine therapy. So she's a strong advocate of it. So there's a little bit about her medical history. Age 12, she diagnosed with chronic migraines. Then she had asthma. Then she had hypothyroidism. Then she had tendonitis, both the shoulders, right elbow, right wrist. She was morbidly obese, 250 pounds, pregnant, diagnosed with cervical cancer, fibromyalgia, you name it, the list goes on. Carpal tunnel, nerve entrapment, all kinds of stuff. Then burns. She had first and second degree burns in 2016. She drank urine every day. I'm on page 224. She drank urine every day, excluding when she was menstruating for some reason. Because urophagia is an ancient indigenous practice that heals and is a procedure that in 2012 my family doctor agreed that I could do because nothing else was helping to combat her complex medical conditions, including 6 different daily prescriptions. Wow. She drank her urine because she's a registered Native American with the Muskogee Petuit tribe, First Nation, and is part of her culture. One of her grandfathers, a Dakota Sioux chief, who survived Wounded Knee, as well as the Battle of Little Bighorn. So that's part of her history. She drank her own urine because she read Martha Christie's book, Your Own Perfect Medicine. This is the bottom of 224. In the medical studies that confirmed it worked. Urine is her body's most perfect medicine, or amniotic fluid for me, complete with stem cells that helps, page 225, maintain my health, weight, cognitive function, reduce inflammation, allergies, prevents growth, regrowth, cancer regrowth, and after receiving first and second degree steam burns in 2016. It helps me regrow skin without scars, as well as heal wounds substantially faster. It's also helping me improve my eyesight. Medical doctors informed me that they couldn't tell that I was ever morbidly obese or have the diseases and chronic illnesses that I had been diagnosed with. Urophagia is another word for urine therapy. She drinks her own urine since discovering that babies were born with soft skin. Fetuses drink their urine in the mother's womb. Within 9 months, babies were evolved from a sperm and an egg to a fish known as a fetus that drinks its own urine, and then they evolve into an air-breathing being that is able to walk and speak within a year. That's a miracle. And urine, also known as amniotic fluid, is part of that miracle. Have you heard of anybody just say it out like that? Well, amniotic fluid is urine. Mm-hmm. Most people tend to say, well, urine is mixed with amniotic fluid. It is the amniotic fluid. And this is the reason I'm always preaching and talking about saturation dosing. So you can kind of recreate the effects of being in your mom's womb. So the more you can drink, the better you feel. The more you can apply it, the better you feel. the more you can use it, and on it goes. It's the one thing I wouldn't be shy with. Society pays a bottom of $2.25. Society pays money to drink acidic chemical fluids from beverage companies, and they don't know the source of these ingredients. I know what goes in my body, and that my urine is free. Why wouldn't I drink a fluid that I know who made it, where it comes from, and that it also produces miracles? It seems nonsensical to me to not drink my urine. And that's like me when people say, you drink your what? I say, yeah, I drink my urine. Doesn't everybody? I mean, you've done it so much, it becomes second nature to you. You don't even think twice about it. They're the ones who seem like the odd ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't drink your pee, what's with you? This is 2023. You got to get caught up with what's happening. I drink my urine because bottom of 226, because I was sick, fat, tired, and nearly dead. I was staring death in the face, and I decided I wanted to live. Those are the reasons why I drink my urine. And I don't care who knows, because it works. At least it's working for me. Page 227. My multidisciplinary medical team has advised me that I should not have survived what I have survived, and that my recovery was remarkable. I'm an indigenous woman that has survived generations of wars, domestic violence, and has not been murdered or gone missing. Doctors keep telling me that I should have been dead and that there's no medical reason or explanation why I am alive today. I recently had a professor of neurology inform me that my cognitive function was remarkable and that which he has never seen before. I can only attribute my success and survival in part to practicing autourine therapy. There's more reasons, however. That's why I drink my pee. Awesome testimony. That's Leah. And there's her pictures. You can see she was 250 pounds top left. And she's showing how her shoulder and her skin had improved over a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
These kind of stories are out there. I met a woman who was she had multiple sclerosis, and she recovered using urine therapy. And so to let people know that this actually what happened, she got out of her chair, which was a wheelchair that someone was pushing her, and she got up at the back of the conference hall and walked all the way up to the front where the podium was without an assistant, without a cane. She turned, faced everybody, gave a great talk, walked back unassisted, and everybody was in tears. There was a woman named Danielle. So these kind of stories, you're going to hear more and more and more of them. And some of them will happen while you're working with your clients.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens to your brother, when it happens more and more, you're going to know why you were called to do this work. And you won't hesitate when people reach out to you and say, hey, Hunter, I'm scared. I heard about urine therapy. Can you guide me through it? And you'll say, of course. Let's put it together. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you do it, you get more confidence and you get more ability to do the work right. Okay?
Yep.
All right, we're going to read about Alcovar Marin. And then if I still have it in me, I'm going to do this rap song. I made it into a rap song. I haven't really learned how to do rap, but I've asked people, do you do rap?
No,
Do you know anybody who's a rapper?
I know a couple people.
Yeah, well, I'm looking for somebody. I got permission from Casey to take his poem and to make it into music. Take the lyrics and perform it. So we'll get to that in just a minute here. There are approximately 170 liters of blood filtered in the kidneys every day, but only approximately 1.4 liters are excreted. More than 90% of the water is reabsorbed. Every kidney weighs approximately 141 grams and is made up of over 1.2 million nephrons or filters. That is more or less 22,400,000 filters. That always amazed me how much wiring and circuitry and tubing is in the human body.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah, you can open it up and they say end to end, it'll cross the earth. I'm going, how does that fit in here? It's in the category of mystery. I haven't figured that out. Top of page 230. If we spread the nephrons one after another, it would measure about 80 kilometers. The first part of the nephron separates part of the plasma from the blood that is forced through delicate capillaries. When these expand with the heartbeat, red cells, white cells, protein units, and vitamin units, and other relatively small particles. In the second process or stage of filtration, it again absorbs more than 90% of plasma, leaving behind what we know as urine. It was found in 1992 at the Hayashibara Institute of Biochemistry in Japan that urine is a blood product and not a waste of useless substance. There's some scientific validation for you right there. In reality, urine is the most miraculous and mysterious juice in the world that your body made for you to be used as a medicine and at the same time as natural nutrition. Urine is a sterile fluid, bottom of 230. While it is in the urethra, urine has more than, well, we know there's more than 3,000. There's 4,690. It came out of the Bird of Canada research project. Organic compounds, and many of them are specific for each body. Its main ingredient is water, which is 60 to 98% water. By the way, the zeolite that I'm going to be introducing you to is a new standard. It's nothing like anything on the market because they got it down to 300 nanometer sizes. And because of the cage-like structures and because of the negative charge, it gets to wherever there's water on the body and attracts the positively charged toxins and chemicals, traps them. And then when you go to eliminate, they flush out. Pretty cool. And then the plasma, what that does is it brings 96 of the 102 necessary minerals into your body to regenerate the cells and everything else. And they both are discovered near volcanoes and oceans.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. All right. From the pineal gland, where am I? Urea is a sterile fluid and it has 4,690 organic compounds. Urea contains hormones that go from the pineal gland to the sex glands. It contains steroids, proteins, minerals, vitamins, enzymes, antioxidants, antibodies, antitoxins, muscle cells, muscle tissues, cellular tissues, endotoxins, exotoxins that are produced by the viruses, bacteria, and microbes that live in our body. It's like a whole health food store. It's got everything in there. For all of this, it is much better to drink any or all of our urine and not consume it with anything artificially or chemically made by man. That's the reason I always tell people to drink it or use it in an hour on either side if you're doing prescription or recreational drugs. So the body doesn't interpret it as an attack or a threat to its system.
Mm-hmm.
And I only bring that up, give people some peace of mind, because everybody could go cold turkey and quit drugs if they really had the desire to do that. My wife did that with cigarettes. She says, I'm tired of smelling like a cigarette, like an ashtray, and I'd rather have a relationship. So she went cold turkey. So anybody can do it. You just got to have the willpower. For all this, it is much better to drink any of all the urine than the chemicals made by man. It is made by the most sophisticated laboratory, made by God herself. Put in the gender. Herself, and not by man like the laboratory called the human body. To all brave women and men who practice urine therapy, I bow to you. A good rule of thumb is if it's made by a plant, use it. If it's made in a plant, stay away from it. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, let's do a rap song. Let's see if I got it today. The Cure Lives Within Us by Casey Caban. He used the handle for many years. He went by his Facebook handle was Shivambu, was We Do Shivambu. So he might still be using his other name on the internet. All right, here we go. What are your ailments? Are you seeking a cure? Are you given treatments that leave you unsure? Most remedies relieve us, but that doesn't matter. Masking the symptoms when the cure's in our bladder. The poisons consumed are always there. It's in our food, water, and air. Some we control, no need to assume. It's simply based on what we consume. If you don't feel good, do you know why? Do you pop a pill and hope you don't die? The cure lives within us. Just look and see. It's very simple. Start drinking your pee. Ask your friend if he'll do that.
All right.
And then all I need to do is, get a link so we can share with Casey and then share it with the rest of the world. And if he's a performer, what I'm willing to do is just put a link to his website and support. Is it a he or a she?
A he.
Okay. You think he might sing a peace song?
He drinks his pee, so he might be done.
Oh my God, do I know him?
Possibly.
Possibly. Wow. Yeah, bring him into that poem. See if he's willing to do that.
All right. There goes.
Thank you. I'm going to bookmark this for the next class. So we've got Audie coming. Boy, I was surprised. I always thought Audie was a woman's name.